Friends, good evening, and this is your host Ankit Khanelwal joining you from Delhi, India, and we have Nicholas Palaveda joining us from Raleigh, North Carolina, United States of America. Good morning, Nick. Good morning to the world, and welcome to IBMTV Startup Wednesday. And we have a great lineup today with startups around the world, and our board of advisors will be joining us from different parts of the world. So let's start the show. Nick, how are things in US and what's happening in the startup fraternity in United States?
Yeah, the startup community in the United States seems to be at a kind of a standstill, and part of the reason why I think it is because of COVID-19. In other words, the COVID-19 has slowed down the ability for startups to get funded and to, frankly, even engage in any form of business because they're stay at home orders still, and there's slowdowns and showing up to work, etc. So all this has really put a damper on the startup community, at least in the United States. Another problem that we're having here that I predicted on the show a long time ago is that we're not going to take this seriously. Looks like we're not. And so the amount of hospitalizations have rose dramatically in the United States because you could almost see what they were doing. They were saying, okay, it's over with, guys going out, and it wasn't over with, okay, and you can't go out. But that's what they did, and I'm without mask, without protection, and could just have at it. Okay, so now several of the hospitals, especially in Florida, are just crammed with coronavirus cases. And the death toll is rising, which we can see. The infections are rising. The hospitals are rising. Part of it is because of the lack of seriousness of the coronavirus. So with that, maybe we should get some reports elsewhere. We'll go to Canada. There's Alexander Starr, and we'll go to Hong Kong. There's Rakesh. Well, Rakesh just left. There he is. Okay. And so the United States is having some issues with this. Let's go to Canada. Alexander Starr, what is the situation over there with the startup community and the coronavirus in Canada? Are you seeing a slowdown in the business?
Okay, coronavirus, it definitely slowed down. I think the results are quite encouraging. It's still there. I mean, last day, I think there were 39 new infections in Ontario, but not death cases. And basically everything more or less opens except movie theaters, concert halls. Rather than that, the stores, the plazas, the shopping centers, even hair salon. So it will save me next time $200 to go to any place and get a haircut. I can get haircut actually for $19. Why would I pay $200 when you can do it for $19?
Alexander, did you pay $200 for a haircut?
Me and my friend, 100 each.
100 each. Okay,
yeah, but don't forget that I beat him in backgammon. So
you beat him in backgammon, so you made your $100.
Yeah, it was not a bad deal. Plus, we had cigars, cognac, and on the fresh air. So you know what? As an entertainment, it's pretty good deal. But I want to tell you something else. I was just watching prior to the program. I was watching the military parade in Moscow on Red Square, and Putin addressed people, and it's really something else. I don't want to be analytical about the Putin's public speaking and what he said and how he said. I'm not here to do that. But the only thing is that he mentioned the countries and their delegations were in Moscow today. Okay, so you say Azerbaijan, Belarus, some other countries. By the way, not Ukraine. So these countries, you can argue that they participated as a republics of the former Soviet Union. They sometimes participated and contributed to the victory in the Second World War. However, I'm not aware that China was fighting Germans. Absolutely not. I never heard about that. And maybe future generations will be indoctrinated that China was a great military power and defeated Germans and everybody else. But it just, as far as I'm alive and still can think for myself, I'm not aware of that and refuse even discuss that. However, China delegation was there, and Chinese military parts were participating in the parade. Now, in his speech, Putin mentioned that, oh, Putin mentioned that there were some other powers that helped Russia to victory in the Second World War. He mentioned some allied party. Well, he was mentioning every country by name, such as Azerbaijan and Belarus and Uzbekistan and whoever. By naming allied powers, certain allied powers, he never ever said the names of those allied powers. And those were USA, UK, Canada, France, and many others. Even India could be counted because at that time it was a UK colony. So, and you see, this is really what we're dealing with, complete um, mm, rewriting of the world history. Of course, nobody would mention that the only reason, 99%, the reason why Second World uh, started was it was a secret protocols signed between Stalin and Hitler. And these secret protocols dealing with, first of all, that both countries are now friends and supporting each other, opening for Hitler's making free hands to deal with other countries. But more importantly, they had secret protocols how to divide Europe and which countries would go under German command and which countries would join Soviet Union, such as, of course, all the Baltic states and parts of Ukraine and parts Romania, and many others. So, if it wouldn't be for that, there would be no Second World War.
Yeah, that's really impressive. Anyway, the thing is, today is a big day because I believe in Russia they're celebrating the end of World War II. The rest of the world doesn't recognize it, or we forgot about it, and that's kind of like the way it is. Because
I think the rest of the world is celebrating September 2nd, when the actual peace, complete surrender of Japan, was signed on 2nd.
Right, but in the meantime, we're being attacked by the coronavirus on a worldwide, global basis that doesn't seem to recognize boundaries and is non-discriminatory. So we're going to move over to Hong Kong. And Rakesh, what is the situation right now in Hong Kong with the business economy and COVID-19?
We've had one death today, and the numbers have not increased, but we've had one death. There are people from most of the increases have come from people returning home, Hong Kong residents returning home from Pakistan. I think it's to do with the school holidays and things like that. But no increase in cases, but one death, which is very sad. Otherwise, business-wise, things are booming, absolutely booming. I've been moving around the city. It's booming.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to add more people here in just a moment. We're going to the socialistic state of San Francisco. Oh, there he is, Jim Mead. And we're also going to go, I believe, into India. There's Ajit. Okay. And somebody has... Somebody has...
Somebody's running a YouTube somewhere.
Somebody has...
Yeah, I guess I'm running.
Can you mute the YouTube? Because
you got to mute the YouTube.
I'm not running anything. I just logged in using YouTube.
Oh, okay.
No, that's fine. I mean, wait. Let me figure it out.
Yeah, the thing is, there's some feedback because we can hear ourselves twice. There we go. I'm not sure how to stop it. I do know how to stop it temporarily. Just a minute.
So it's from Arijit, and Arijit, there is something playing at your system. That's why we can hear our voice again and again.
Right.
That's why I wanted to chime in, because I'd like hearing my voice again and again.
Well, Jim, you can hear it over and over again, you know. And
Because I
apparently,
just muted you, and then there is no voice now. So it's from your
whatever you did work, Ajit. We're going to move to the socialistic state of San Francisco, where Jim Eade. Jim, how's it going over there in terms of the coronavirus and the economy in that socialistic state, otherwise known as San Francisco?
Well, first off, it's a capitalist country of Silicon Valley, surrounded by the Socialist Republic of Northern California. And what we're experiencing now, a governor had eased the restrictions, and we started to open up, and now we're seeing a spike, as many parts of the country have done. As soon as we started to open up, we've seen an increase in cases. And we're not overloaded in the hospital situations like we were in danger of being before, but it's alarming. We wanted to go back to business as usual, but it didn't turn out to be the right choice. And we keep trying to push the pedal to the metal and keep going on business, and we keep running into spikes whenever we do. So we're in this in-between state right now.
Yeah, okay, so we're in a massive state of confusion, which is normal for San Francisco. Ajit, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Is it echoing again, or is fine?
Yeah, it's echoing again. It wasn't. Now it's back.
Arijit, is your Facebook live? Because I think it's from Facebook as well. Because
So I actually logged in using the YouTube.
It's not about logged in basically. If you have a Facebook tab open, you just have to mute that tab so that we can focus on streaming.
I guess because of my phone, because I logged in into two different devices. Is it fine now?
That's right.
Yeah.
Two different devices.
That's
That's
it.
better now.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, cool. Well, hi everyone. Good to be here. Yes. So about myself, I run India's one of the oldest game development and virtual reality studio. So I started this back in 1998 when I was 17, and I had a deep passion to connect the artist along with the logical world, which is coding. So I thought maybe connecting the programmers with the creative people, game development would be the best possible option to bring them forward and marry between both the kind of aspect in life. And that's how I started my venture. So I failed a couple of times in my life. Like when I started back in '98, gaming was not a concept which is at least known to everyone in India, and entrepreneurship was not a word over there. It was all about how to do your business. And my background is my mom, she's a public prosecutor. Father, he's a corporate guy, no business background. So when you start with no business background, usually it takes a lot of time to learn. So it's a self-learning process that I had in my life. Failed in prox 2-3 times in life, and then certainly got the success, or rather I should say I'm still in the journey of getting success, trying to do good in life. That's the kind of small intro,
Wonderful.
if that fits.
Okay. Willie Hill has just joined us. Just to reintroduce people who have joined us late. We have Ankit, who's with IBMTV out of New Delhi, and he heads up our health channel and makes sure all the technology works. We have Rakesh, who's from Hong Kong, and Rakesh is education, and technology is still challenging for some of us. And of course, we have Alexander Starr. And Alexander Starr heads two things. One, the investment show, which is coming up today at 1 o'clock. And I do plan on watching it. It's a great show. And he has another good show, or great show, I'd say, Chess Stars with Alexander Starr. That is at this Saturday, 3 o'clock, where he's inviting the number 3 chess player in the world, or former number 3, Alex Shirov from Riga in Latvia will be joining us, along with German Janko, he knows how to pronounce the name, top German Grandmaster. And of course we have Willie Hill, and he's our startup master in Australia, mate. And I just saw one of your mates down there with a company called Kavana. It just hit the boards. They were funded with 60 million in Australia, and the mates are worth 6 billion. And they have this really, really attractive young lady who people were complaining about. What's the diversity? Why is she a trap? Blah blah blah. And apparently, she's one of the owners of the company. So anyway, Australia just hit a $6 billion startup. And our special guest, Anjit, and he is a serial entrepreneur and does virtual reality. And we'd like to know a little bit more about Anjit. How did you get started in your startup?
Well, it's a long history, I would say. So I'll give you a different kind of reply. Let me take you back in '98, at least in Indian perspective. On that time, practically speaking, there was no concept of broadband connection. It was all dial-up connection, and we used to use the PCs, which has got 64 MB of RAM with maximum, supercomputing stuff was not there. And I was a kid then. I used to do a lot of comics in my school days, a lot of superhero characters, which I used to make. And usually I have been thrown out of the history classes because I really hate the history classes. And on that particular timing, I used to draw the comical characters, creating my own kind of storyline with dialogue and, using pen stuff and all. And I was moving here and there, a kind of scattered guy who wanted to make a disruption. Never ever thought that theory will make a mark in, at least in life. I was always a kind of practical oriented person who thought that maybe I can marry between the logic and art together. So I saw a couple of guys who are moving from one location to another location, and they are pretty happy. They are saying that we are not making money, we are artists. So artists are not supposed to make money. Artists are supposed to be like this. They should have all those kind of colors with their hand or brushes and all. But I had a different perspective. I thought, why artists can't make money? What was the main cause for it? So I was digging here and there, and I was checking using those kind of old browsers, using Yahoo search engine. Got to know that, if, well, my background is basically, I'm a science background person. So I used to do coding on that time as well. So it's a kind of complex personality I have, artist and logical both. So I found that in Yahoo, somebody is talking about a language called Python. And in that particular blog, that fellow was mentioning that Python is a great language. If you can learn it, that's a, amazing stuff. So I learned it slowly and then understood that if I have to do something for this artist community, I need to make money. And if I can recruit them, take them into our organization, if I can float a company, that can add a lot of value. So initially, I started as a production house. I failed because I didn't have any kind of team. Then I started a training institute. I found there is a gap. People don't know how to make games. So whatever I learned, I tried to give it back to these students. It was a free class initially. So I started getting students, like from one student, it became 10, 10 became slowly 15. And then I started charging money for giving training. And with those 15 people, I took two of them as our faculty. I started paying them and slowly understood that they can actually become our asset. So slowly, very steadily, we started another institution. Took few people on board who are artists, really from very poor background, very humble background. They totally are like kind of that kind of artistic background where they say we don't have money but we are happy. We took them, all those happy people, on board, and then slowly thinking that if production can become a IP oriented production, so we started making own game title based gaming studio. We never ever wanted to become a studio like an outsourcing studio, which will be on the forefront of making only game asset or game art. We wanted to make a mark in a different way. So that was a totally a failure concept. I'll tell you the reason. The year was approx 2004, 2005. So gaming was not at all popular in India,
Right.
at least in front. Okay, so so I took a very big leap. Whatever I had in my pocket, I got a visa from a Western country, certainly in UK. So I was writing a lot of mail to a lot of publishers. We had an initial discussion. So I took that flight, went there, had a discussion, and understood that how to go about white level, how we can make a game title, they can become our publisher, how publishing works. I came back with a lot of hope. With those kind of team structure, we made the game, we published it, got a little bit of success, or rather I should say money. With that money we created another separate division which will make only intellectual property based superhero characters. So what I did, I actually took on board fresh actor and actress as a character inside our game. We started converting them into a 3D character in a very different kind of nowadays it's called digital human. So it was not a concept that days, but we made those people as gaming characters
Mhm.
and started floating small games with that. And what happened, people started loving those games. We started getting a lot of traction, user base from various media. And slowly, certainly the revolution happened. We got YouTube, we got Google as a search engine, we hopped into the social media, we got Facebook. So we grabbed each and every possibility that came in front of us. And slowly, those people, the fresh actor and actress, they started getting a lot of communication and connection from the movie industry, and they got a shock. They told us what happened. I mean, what exactly you guys did? We became overnight popular. What happened exactly? So even it was a different kind of understanding for us. We found that okay, fine, there is another kind of business opportunity if I can marry between the film industry with gaming industry. So we hopped into the Bollywood movie
Mhm.
making concept as well as Tollywood movies, and we started co-producing the movies as a gaming partner. So that gave us different kind of feedback,
Mhm.
and slowly entered into the technical market like blockchain technologies, the crypto market. We started handshaking with those kind of people and started integrating that and evolved the company into different level. And we started investing into new kind of concept, new kind of startups, wherein as a very strategic investment company, we should help them to grow and create a market. We floated another platform for these indie startups and started collaborating with a lot of various players in the market, and successfully created the ecosystem wherein people can raise fund and floated another organization which is mainly into investment banking. It's called entrepreneur space, and we strategically started investing into various different kind of domain. Initially it was technology, but then slowly it became a mainstream streamlined business. And as I said that I don't have any kind of business background, so I learned everything from scratch,
Right.
zero, with experience,
Yep.
and started investing out of India, and understood that world is really beautiful and people are
Mhm.
really great, and they have a lot of different open mind. If we can handshake with different people,
Mhm.
it's really amazing. So initially we started in Asia.
Right.
Initially we started in Asia, and slowly Asian people, frankly speaking, taught me at least how to become humble and how to become very grounded, and that helped us to grow into very different market. In fact, I can see one of our friend is from Australia. So recently, approx 1.5 years back, 1.5 years back, we started one company based out of Australia called Avalue Global Investment Banking Company. So we got our partnership with two different guys over there in Australia.
Mhm.
So slowly entered into the startup ecosystem. Uh, I usually take very slow step, understand people. If the synergy match, then only we take things forward. I always go for team. I always go for the good heart. I always go for the gut feelings. So till date, by God grace, somehow failure never happened in investment scenario till date. Yes, by God grace. And
No failures here, buddy. We're all successful. Below there's two chess masters, Jim Mead, Alexander Starr, myself. You're loaded with gamers here, but we were playing chess. Back now, video games were a whole different start. Like I said, around 2004. Can you share the screen and show us your website or what video games you guys
Sure,
actually
sure,
produce?
I can.
Yeah, you have to actually. It is a little technology challenge, but you press the share screen. You press the share screen. You got to go to the video, then you got to press the video, and then it'll actually share. Or Ankit can do it. Ankit knows how to do everything. That guy.
Hold on.
While he's doing that, Nick, I was
I have, I think, one option which is entire screen.
Don't. Arijit, is your website live right now? Yeah, I can see your screen now.
Oh, you can see a screen. Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Wait. Okay, here it is. Here it is.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
You can see my screen?
Yeah, let's see what you actually do.
Arijit, there is one more thing. I think. Can you lower the volume of the mobile phone because there is some sound coming from your screen here.
I think I need to stop sharing, or
And can you just lower the mobile volume so that because I can hear a lot of.
hold on. I just stopped sharing.
Still, there is a voice coming up from your end.
I don't know from where the voice is coming because my phone is totally out of network. I don't have any other network going on.
Because when I mute you, there is some kind of volume. Now it's really. Can you hear something? Really, you need to unmute.
Yeah, it's okay now. There's no echo.
Now it's okay. But once I unmute, you can listen.
Like the
Hold
corona.
on, let me
coming
see
back.
what best I can do.
Like a coronavirus in your system. I don't know. Because the problem is that while doing it, it's difficult to record it actually.
I understand, but honestly speaking, I don't see any other window running. Like I can see multiple windows are opening in my tab box.
Okay. Okay, let's see.
My URL in the. Shall I give you my URL in the chat box?
Yeah,
Give
you
it a-
can get the URL in the chat box to be able to show the videos and what you guys do.
Yeah, I think that's the best option.
Yeah.
That's probably the best option because
Let
it
me
is
start sharing.
how to
And
upload.
also share how big is the gaming industry and especially how big is the industry in India as compared to the world, because people are not sure that gaming is also an industry and there are people working and making millions and billions of dollars.
Yeah, tell us how big this
Okay.
game industry is.
So gaming in India is actually a very big market. The only challenge is here. Usually we are not inclined about the proper, I should say, proper serious gaming. So India is one of the finest market for casual gaming genre. If you are, if you are into it. So for an example, if you are going for real money games, or rather, I should say, casual genres like carom, ludo, or hyper casual. Those are the kind of game that works very well. So I shared one of our URL from
Yeah.
the total website. So maybe you can see a couple of 3D characters which has been converted from a real person to a real 3D character. So one of
Do we
our finest title is Shaktiman. Shaktiman was India's first superhero character, which was a TV show long back, started by Mr. Mukesh Khanna. If you can see the Shaktiman character, now he is over 70. But when we converted him, yeah, this one. So maybe you can try this website. Let me share you. For each and every game, we have separate website.
Okay. It's not working. There is no link to it.
No. It's only showing the character.
Yeah, showing the characters.
So I just wanted to reiterate, Rijit. I mean, I know our first superhero is Shaktiman, but as Indians, we all know that we have a lot of gods with great powers, and we believe they are superheroes as well. Because a lot of
Exactly.
shows.
So we converted approximate. We created more than 200 plus superhero characters from all those Indian mythology. So each
Okay,
and
great.
every character do have its own storyline, but for religious reason, we never ever take the
Use it.
actual god and goddess as a character,
Okay. Okay.
because that creates a lot of controversy. We never do that. So
I
each and
understand.
every character do have its storyline, but every one of them has been uh, taken from a particular real life actor and actress. Some of them are celebrities, some of them are really small character. If you can open the Shaktiman game, or maybe I should share you another URL.
So that's your website, Virtual Infocom, where you build
Yes.
games. So, Arijit, if you talk about viewership or follower, I'm not sure how the gaming industry works. So, how many people follow the game on your platform?
So for our platform, we have got 25 million user base, which is
Okay.
like we built it for quite a long time, which includes a lot of game titles. So if you click on the visit site uh, in the so maybe you can see some
Okay,
other
right here.
site which is running, right? So each and every game do have its own storyline.
Wonderful.
So it's a game which is based on Katya. So this lady is her name is Srijla. She is now a brand model, and the character that you can see, the
Okay.
male character, he is basically a
Yeah.
male character is based on Ashwathama. So I've shared you
Okay.
another two URL. If you can just type fightofthelegends.com, you can check each and every character on the screen. So that's one of our game title. Yes.
This one.
Yep. This one. You can click on maybe the characters tab on the menu. Yeah.
Okay. So, Arijit,
When we
if I
started,
talk about
when we
gaming
started,
industry
Ankit,
globally,
it was really a
competing
challenge
to
for
the,
us.
I didn't get you.
Yeah, I'm saying it was really challenge for us when we started making all these characters.
Okay.
Like if you want to click on any character, this is the lady who has been converted
Yeah.
as a gaming character. So you
Okay.
can go back and cross check anyone, or maybe scroll down. Yeah, click
Yeah.
on that white hair Coco character. This one.
Okay.
She is now MTV star, but when we hired her as a game character,
Okay.
she was nothing.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
So I have several cases like this. If you click on Jitantak, the yellow guy, yep. So he became one of the finest male model. Like
Okay.
this kind of concept is pretty new. At least it was new when we started in 2008, converting all these people into
Correct.
digital person.
Digital characters.
There was no studio. The challenge was there was no studio. There was
Yeah.
no
Right.
technical know-how which was available, at least in India, where you can do those kind of motion capture. So everyone has been motion captured, and as you can see, everyone got this is only a 3D one. It has no
Okay.
connection with any real person. So
Okay.
everyone got its own characteristics and own power and own storyline. So
Okay.
that's a guy from one of our god.
Yeah.
So what we did, we actually converted these people not only as a character. There is a fine catch. When you play the game, you have an option to go to a real store, and if you like any one of the amulet, or maybe the dress, or maybe some amount of object inside the game, you can redeem your point into physical store, and you can buy the real object. Let me share
Right.
you another interesting fact.
My grandkids do this all the time. They tell their dad, "Hey, I've got to buy this extra power." I'm serious, and even there's a place called the Great Wolf Lodge that they took us to. They had to keep buying all this extra power so they could kill the dragon. So, Grandpa being dumb goes, okay, let's go buy the extra power. So is that what you do, Angie?
Yeah, kind of, yes. Kind
Okay.
of, yes.
All right.
Kind of,
What
yes.
sort of revenue can you make off a business like this? What are you doing in revenue?
Oh, we are doing good. We are doing a couple of millions, certainly.
Okay.
So
Right.
in 2017, let me share you another interesting fact. So this is our India's first e-commerce portal on cosplay objects. Whatever games you saw, you can actually buy. So we did a couple of cosplay shows as well in India with our superheroes with
Right.
own kind of styling. So you can actually go and buy the objects inside the game. If you can scroll down, you can see the objects.
Sure.
This we have a partnership with some Taiwanese company who actually build these hard plastic materials for us,
Right.
and we cross sell or sell, and it's a kind of ecosystem that we created, and the way we did it with all these high fashion dress is pretty interesting. We actually go to nearby village, recruit a group of people who people say that they can't do anything in their life. So we take them on board, teach them how to do knitting, how to
Right.
do handicrafts, and they converted themselves into a creative village. So it's not a smart village concept, but a creative village concept.
Creative village,
We
right.
adopt these village people. Whatever money we generate, we give 80% back to these people so that they can sustain and grow.
Sure.
And you won't believe that nowadays their people are going to the school. So this is the concept that we are coming with special food section only for gamers. Usually that happens that as a gamer you play a lot of game, but you don't take care of your health and you go for a lot of different kind of
That's true.
food. Yeah.
Did you hear that, Jim? You play a lot of games, you don't take care of your health. Alexander Starr, did you hear that? Got to take care of your health. Alexander's he's from Russia. He'll just grab some vodka on the way out the door. So, but the thing is, Alexander also runs our investment show that's coming up Wednesday at 1:00. And see, for me, something like this is actually a good investment, Alexander, because it's a one-time. I call it a one-time charge cost to actually set up the game, and then from there on in, the revenues keep coming in over and over again until the revenues are depleted because they're bored with the game and they want to go to another game. But by that time, you've developed another game that they go to, and it keeps going over and over again, right, Angie? And
yes,
developed in India. Okay, he just did it in India. The fact is, it can be exported to Australia, and they'll do the same thing. They'll buy. It's like
Absolutely.
a Coke, right? So he does it to Australia. Same concept. Oh, let's go find the stars. Let's make them into a video game. They go, okay, I get a royalty, right? And then over and over again, people pay to play. Then he goes to the United States of America, does the same thing. Goes to Europe, does the same thing. In other words, it replicates itself. I mean, am I missing something? Angie?
Scandinavian gods too.
perfect.
You can piggyback this idea onto Scandinavian and Thor and Odin and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just so proud of you.
No, this is really great. Yeah, I'm all for this one, Angie. I mean, Ankit, this guy's good. Okay, because Ankit had some other person on. I said, dude, your thing ain't going to go anywhere. Too capital intensive and not enough revenue stream. In other words, with solar power, I mean, that's a real capital intensive deal and very competitive. And there's not a one-time charge, but your idea is going to go off like a rocket, and you've probably already seen it if you've been doing it since 2004.
But Nick, there is one more side to gaming industry that Arijit is successful on the other side, but there are a lot of people who do games. They develop a lot of games, and it's difficult for them to create a successful game, because I think Arijit would agree that every 10 games, I think one game would get success. What do you think, Arijit? What is the success rate about gaming?
Good question.
Yeah, kind of that. You're right. You're bang on. Actually, getting one successful title is like a lot of hard work, honestly speaking. So out of 10, maybe you don't get any successful game, or it might happen that you are really lucky and somehow one of your game out of that 10 becomes popular in a particular country.
Sure.
But I usually prefer to go for localization. So to get a success for any game, that's basically localization of characters or objects or UI. And you are right. When you go for one particular game title, it is for maybe Asia, you can always go for Europe and convert the same thing with different kind of characterization.
Certainly.
So if I have yeah, if I have time, I'll be more than happy to show you another.
Hey,
Uh,
Jim and Alexander, maybe he could take the chess players, the chess grandmasters like Magnus Carlsen, and he could take Haruka Nakamura, and you can go and you can buy more rating points, and then Haruka can finally beat Magnus Carlsen, right? That's a
Great.
No, I think you're right on. Actually, I'm working on a game now, so this is fascinating to me because we're going to do it all animated, and we can have the Fisher Spassky match animated, and Bobby Fischer throwing the boards up in the air and that sort of thing. So this is an idea that has already occurred to me, but I have none of the expertise that you have, and so I am probably going to be with the 9 out of 10 that fail. But I'm just blown away by your success and the idea, and also feeding back into your local communities.
Yeah.
That is just spot on as far as I'm concerned.
Well, they have a great chess player in India, Vishy Anand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And the thing is, they could have Vishy Anand play Bobby Fischer. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But they'd have to play
I
it.
think there is something what Arijit can do is that Arijit can create a game and Sasha can play like Shroff. So a character called Shroff and Sasha is playing the game with the mind of Shroff. That can be possible in a gaming industry. What do you think, Arijit?
Yeah.
Can he replace a GM and play like a GM?
We could finally have Staunton play Morphe. Staunton does Morphe. But now we can have him play. But the other thing I wanted to
so
say,
I would love to share you some other. I would love to share you some other aspect, Mr. Jim. If you are entering into the gaming world, like gaming is basically, I'm talking about gaming technology. Nowadays, gaming technologies are being used into various vertical, like with real industry. So we are working very closely with uh, simulation industry, car manufacturing industries, as well as a couple of ship manufacturing industries. So we are using virtual reality uh, and augmented reality and XR to give exact kind of solution, even with the aviation industry. So that's going to be the future. And it's, in my understanding, augmented reality and XR is going to play a amazing role. And
Great.
with this note, I mean, we didn't stop over there, honestly speaking. So we started, I should say, I started making a very small initiative about investment capital. So we floated the portal successfully, and we started a knowledge portal as well. And I've already shared you the blog link for the same. We recruited people who are well experienced from the industry, and they are writing over there and communicating with each other. So if you go to the main site, if you click on the website, you will get multiple mentors who are actually mentoring people worldwide, working very closely. And we work very closely with you can click on the tab called mentor if you, yeah.
Mhm.
So we work very closely with multiple partners. Like TechSauce is one of our partner. We work very closely with TechStars and National Entrepreneurs Network.
Oh, Techstars. They're actually out of
Few of
Boulder,
the,
Colorado, right? Techstars. Yeah, I think
yeah,
I know the guy who's the
yeah.
head of it. Was it Brad Feld or something like that? Techstars. I got his card here somewhere.
Yeah, probably yes.
I
So
got to go
we
through his
work
card.
only
He's
with
in
the
one of my
Indian
business
chapter.
cards. Let's go find him.
Great. So we have multiple number of mentors on board from various part of the industry with their own kind of skill set. We have got Elena Levova from Ukraine. We got Abioda from Africa. Then Eric from China. Shubhranshu is heading the IIM Calcutta Innovation Park as a CEO. Jatin is a really great guy from Rajkot. He runs a co-working place. Then Vanessa, she's from Africa, southern part of Africa. Priyam is running another initiative for people. I can go on. Like these guys are really amazing guys. Like Shazi was from Bangladesh. Then Maxim, he's from Russia. Udita, he's from Sri Lanka. Like we have got multiple people on board who are actually helping guys to shape their dream in reality. Few people are from corporate industry, few of the guys are from uh, law legal background. So trying to help the ecosystem. And honestly, when you try to help someone, you give a multiple things things back into you.
Mhm.
So you can click on the partners tab. You can see the number of partners we have. So we have an incubation segment for women entrepreneurs. We are pretty open for 50% investment directly without asking any kind of anything. Like it's a kind of 50% grant that we go for. So these are our partners worldwide. We work closely with them. Not very big names, but yes, we are working with them, trying to help the ecosystem in whatever way we can.
Wonderful. And I think, Arijit, as you work in the startup industry, names never matter because it's all about the consistency, resilience, passion, and because you know that, I mean, name can become bigger at any point of time. It's more about the content and the value you create in that particular ecosystem. That's what it's about.
I just want to say that I'm writing everything down because Kimberly's not here, so somebody has to write everything down. And I just want to. I can't tell you how amazed I am about what you've accomplished. And because I've just been sticking my toe in this, and I've got developers and I've got a marketing person, but you've done it all. So I can learn so much from you, and I'm going to go to check out your sites. But I did have two things to say. One is, artists did make money, but they just had to die first.
That's true. Yeah. Then you make money. Now your art is
pouring in. And the other thing is, I think you got to work on Chessman. Chessman. Superhero.
You're loaded with chess players here.
And then you can get Sasha and me on board right away.
Right. Yeah, and for people that are not familiar with Techstars right here. Okay, and the thing is, they have a big following. Brad Feld is one of the founders. His company's called the Foundry Group. He's out of Boulder, Colorado. And for those who are not familiar with the investment world, Jim Eade lives in the socialist state of Silicon Valley, which has 40% of all investment in startups are done in his city. So Jim sits right next to tons of money, but it never seems to bleed over to him.
I can't drive anywhere without passing venture capitalists.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he can't. Where he lives, it's venture capital city. Yeah. But I think
there is one more fact. There is one more fact that startup companies who got funded and they are doing good, they have more Indians as an employee than any other company.
Yeah,
that's also a fact.
Yeah, but his company's already up and running, making money, has a great business plan for expansion. I mean, it's really has all the tools to take off like a rocket. It looks like it's already taken like a rocket, Anjit. So I think it's. I
have to remind you that you have to ask 2 questions from Arijit. If you remember those
questions. Well, I don't want to ask him these questions because he probably knows the answer. But
you can try it out. I mean,
okay, all right. Okay, yeah, these are the 2 questions we asked. Do you know who Shado Khan is? Anjit, do you know who Shado Khan is?
So sorry. Yeah, I know.
I told you. That's not fun. Okay, question number 2. Do you know how to play cricket?
Oh yeah.
That's not fair. Okay, see, here's what you find out, Andy. I told
Okay, let me reveal the fact. Who is from Australia? Willie?
Yeah, Willie.
Okay, so I had an interaction with Mr. Steve Waugh. So when he came to India, and he is releasing his one of the book, which is with lot of passion. He's writing it from his vast experience. We had a deep chat, and most probably we'll be releasing it in India, and a few of the parts will be done for Asia as well. So that answers your cricket stuff. So yes, I play cricket, and yes, I'm highly passionate.
People in the United States.
But before you make that statement, we need to make sure that they know who is Steve Waugh, because they don't know anything about
cricket. We don't know how to play cricket here, and we do not know who Shado Khan is.
And Nick, there is one more fact. Arijit is from Calcutta, And the Calcutta Stadium, Eden Garden, is one of the biggest stadium in the world cricket stadium, and they have around 100,000 people watching cricket or football at a single point of time.
Well,
Yeah.
not anymore though. Not now.
No, they can't. It does not exist. Cricket does not exist in the United States. Okay. As a matter of fact,
Sure,
here's an
in
interesting.
the San Francisco Bay Area, they're cricket league,
Yeah.
but they're all Indians. They're all Indian players, but still.
Yeah, we don't.
I think we lost him. I mean, there is some. Maybe he'll join back.
Oh, he disappeared. Where'd he go?
Well,
Oh,
it's
stars.
fascinating.
Yeah, this
He
is
will
a
join.
fascinating business. Yeah, he'll have to beam back in here. But yeah, that is a really good. See, the way I look at that's a really good startup. But it looks like he's more than a startup. If he started this in 2004, I mean, he's been around for 16 years, which means you're past the 5 years you're going to die.
Right.
Going to die. He's going to go. This is the company that even guys like Alexander would look at investing.
You know,
If I
he's
can put in
made it.
1,000 and get back 45, if I can put in 1,000 of my, you know, my money and get back 45,000, I would invest. You know, so.
There's Abhishek.
Yeah, gee, yeah, no, it looks like you've got a great plan. So what is your plans for the future, Angie? What's the expansion going forward?
Well, Virtual Infocom right now is in the good hand, and I hired one of, it's from the team itself. So I sit back as a CEO now. So it's in the good hands, and I got my own CEO who can actually take the load. For the company, certainly we'll be more focusing on creating more and more technology-oriented products which can connect with the hardwares.
Mhm.
We are basically coming up with different kind of virtual reality hardware solution integrated with content, which will be game as well as short movies, but in 3D, certainly in VR, and certainly that will be one of the expansion plan for us. We want to build that product. I can show you. Give me a second. I'll bring that hardware for you. We want to sell it in the market for around $150 max as a selling price,
Mhm.
which will be way different than any kind of VR device that you can think of at the moment. So this VR device will be a standalone device, integrated chip inside it. We already built it. The prototype is ready, but it's not there in the market, which will have processor inside, RAM inside, storage inside, cloud connectivity with all the possible kind of solution. Give me a second. Let me bring it
Okay.
up for you guys.
Because
Is it fine?
VR,
Shall I?
AR
Sure.
is really a
Shall
hot
I?
moving market. Yeah, if you can show
Yeah.
it.
Give me a second.
Sure.
So that's
Yeah.
wonderful, and I think gaming is something which is going big. I was at one of the Google events last year, and they have a game where there is no console. They play game on the server itself, and the game is played with the best of the SD displays and graphics, and there is no console. So you are playing on a bandwidth on an internet, and I was surprised to see it was going great.
Yeah, the gaming industry is actually pretty large.
This doesn't have any kind of logo yet because it's a prototype. Okay. So here you can see the controls. So these are the controls to turn on, and this is basically with the controls to move the character or maybe anything. And this is how you can do the restart stuff.
Okay.
This is how you can put it in your head.
On your head, yeah.
Right. And we are in
We
talk
need
with.
we might need to take a live demo because it's difficult or it's tempting to watch you live right now.
We'll do that for sure. So we are in talk with one company who can give us gesture control rings. It's already there in the market, so that we can connect the gesture controlling with this hardware, and we'll come up with a bundle pack, 2 different bundle pack, one without the ring, one with the ring. So different kind of pricing module will be there most probably. So that's our future plan, if we can do it with that pricing.
Wonderful. And Arijit, to tell you that on IBMTV, we are coming up with a show, Gamers Den. We are still working on the format and how the show will run. But we will be soon working on a Gamers Den show, which is live on IBMTV, and we have gamers joining us around the world talking about games and other things. You know, the gaming industry is going big, and they also need social media, and they need a lot of PR and a lot of things to make sure that the game will survive forever. But a quick question from our viewers: that what is the shelf life of a game? How much? I need to unmute because we are facing a lot of technical difficulties, and whenever I mute you, there's a lot of sound problem, and our viewers are asking why there's the problem coming from StreamYard and from broadcast today, because something is happening from somewhere, and that's not, good quality video or audio which we are offering right now. But let me see. Yeah.
I'm really sorry for that. I don't have any clue why it's happening. But yes, if you're asking about life of a game, it depends. But usually it is 2 years to 3 years if you're making it decent. If you are making it decent, and it can go up to 10 years if your marketing strategy is perfect. And then you need to come up with a different version or maybe a different kind of concept so that it uplifts. So this is basically a kind of subject which is ever changing always. It always changes, it always updates. So that needs a lot of update kind of structure inside your game so that you can jolly well replicate it or maybe upgrade it. Can I share you one very simple storyline?
Yes.
Sure, please.
Okay, so when we made Ashwatthama as a game, it was India's first RPG real 3D character based game, which we made in 2008. We released it in 2008 actually, and there was the engine that we had on that time was different. It was not that updated. But yes, when we released that, it was a storyline based game from Indian mythological character from Mahabharata. And then slowly we connected that character based game into a different storyline based game called Katya, which you saw. And then we interconnected Fight of the Legends with Ashwatthama. So what happens as a strategy, as a game strategy, when you have the new game released in the market, which is Fight of the Legends, and it is connected with your Ashwatthama storyline, as a gamer, when you go back and try to understand what was the starting phase of that game, so you go back to Ashwatthama. So in a way, whether it is 2020, so since 2008 to 2020, Ashwatthama continues his journey as long as Fight of the Legends will continue. And then you connect Fight of the Legends with Shaktiman game and it continues. So you need to think on those kind of marketing strategy where your old games should connect with the new games. It can be a storyline, it can be no storyline, it can be a hyper casual, doesn't matter. But it should continue and fetch the older games with the newer one. That's how you can retain your consumer, you can retain your users, and you can continue. And another best solution, or rather I should say a suggestion, is never ever put your game only on popular, so-called popular play stores. With due respect to all the popular play stores, like we know only Google, Apple, or maybe Microsoft, or maybe Amazon, there are more than 300 plus local play stores. So when you release a game, it's important to get a publisher on board with you who can practically push your product into all those local stores. There you make money,
right,
and you sustain and you grow.
Yeah, and the
So,
game
there's 2 tips from your end. First step is to keep engaging the audience. You need to kind of create games which have some kind of connection, so that people will go from week 1 or volume 1 to volume 2, volume 3 on the website, right? And then secondly, try to publish yourself and don't look for publishers who are popular, because they can eat you at any point of time. But my question is that when you get to know that your game is not successful or it's failed, how much time maybe it's a week time or a month time, or you wait for 3 months and then you see that the game is not functioning well, and I have to take it back.
Well, I should give example of Final Fantasy for this. So when Final Fantasy was there, it never made money, but the founder never stopped himself. It was a Japan-based. The company is called Square Enix, who
Okay.
produced and published that game. So it was never a hit thing initially, but slowly, after a couple of months, around 6 7 months, it got hit like anything, right? So my suggestion is, don't think that you are doing bad.
Yeah.
Keep your nose on the grid, continue the journey. Gaming, you can't say that from where you get the success if you are an indie developer. But if you have a proper marketing strategy, you will understand within 6 months whether you are going to get the hit or not. So that strategy depends on a lot of peer activities, a lot of community work, lot of you can say news portals, understanding, user understanding. So there is another tip. If you're making an indie game, always go for localization. Always understand the localization part of it. That helps a lot for your game success. And I think the next world would be mostly on hyper casual, easy to make. You don't have to invest a lot of money, but you can get good number of users. But I have a serious question about your money making process. Don't rely on only ad networks. Work on an alternative way of in-app purchase as well as real-life connectivity with the games and all. So it's not about games. The reason we connected blockchain technology to become, to pioneer into the world of alternative way of making money as well as giving security, because in gaming there is a lot of different kind of concept. For an example, if you take example of a game of ours, Lal Kamal Nil Kamal was never targeted for kids. The game storyline is for kids, but this storyline is from 1970s. It was a really old storyline. So our target consumers are parents who would be keen to ask their kids, go back, read this storyline through a gaming experience, because this is your culture. So that game is basically for over 40 people. So people love to go for their own culture, their own language, and they are pushing their kids. Imagine a situation: some Indian guy is sitting in US, and he has got a kid, and he wants that his kid to understand his own culture. How he can give it? He has got his own community. They are not coming back in India very often. So if they get some kind of interactive mode of gaming where it is teaching the Indian culture and old storyline, it's great for them. So they usually ask them to play that kind of game, which is giving them cultural experience. So it depends. How you're thinking about your marketing.
Yeah, and just for the people who are joining us at the hour, we have Ankit Kandlar with at IBMTV in New Delhi. Willie Hill has joined us from Australia, Melbourne. Good day, mate, who runs up the Startup Australia website and has 10,000 people there, plus the European startup site. So Willie is actually head out of it, Melbourne, Australia. We have Ratish, who is in Hong Kong, and who just recently joined us is Sharif from Malaysia. And Sharif is a PhD in business. And of course, Ajit didn't get his PhD in business, but he did get his he did get his business though. He runs a gaming company out of Calcutta, India, and is now working around the world on virtual reality. Virtual reality, and has been doing a lot of work in that area, taking people who are stars and turning them into games. Sharif, do you have any questions, since you're in the academic side of business? Now you get to meet the real side of business. Do you have any questions to ask Ajit?
Yes, no. But basically, if you ask me about the academic side, when I started my PhD, my first objective is that I want to make it industry oriented. I want to make it more meaningful. I think Mr. Ankit also showed my last interview with Dr. Mahfuzur Rahman from University of Malaya. So basically, my objective, you have to understand, from my undergraduate, I started my business, and I start doing my job. A lot of hard work I doing, and I finished my study. So in the same way, in my PhD program, I try to make it more meaningful, like industry driven. And what he said that only 19% of the research paper from academia is implemented in the industry. 81% still not implemented in the industry. That's why I love IBM TV, because IBM TV, they have their own culture. They are integrated with the business. Even Mr. Nick, even he has an academic background, but he integrated with lot of industry. This is actually very interesting. So how, like, my specific objective, like how we can make more efficient ecosystem with the collaboration of industry and with the collaboration of academia, because without research even you cannot do better things. Let's say you are talking about stock market. So when you need a chairman who will run a stock market, you need a PhD holder for macro aspect. On the other hand, you need lot of research for creating IPO and other things, as well as the industry has to. I know that industry is very much action oriented. So in these action oriented things and these academic research things, they are more on theoretical aspect. I want to integrate it together. That is my objective of life. And another things in my life, my personal life, because I have a chance, it's my great pleasure, from European Union and other top university, I get chance to involve with their academic system. And that is the things I also find in that their system, that there is a huge gap. What actually IBM TV do, I like it. Like you try to get your guests from India, from Malaysia, from here, from Hong Kong, from Australia. So there is a gap in the academia. There is a huge gap, really, really huge gap.
Right.
Like I told you, always we are talking about New York stock market, General Motor, General Electronics, Kentucky Fried Chicken. But we have to understand the real history of India, real history of China market, India market. Let's say Mr. Abhijit get economics, Nobel last year on economics. So he is actually have great contribution on development economy. He do lot of work in India. So these kind of things we have to understand. I want to learn how General Motor wants, how your startup want run, and how you give the solution, how virtual reality work, AI works. I want to learn these things side by side. I want to present, even if they are traditional businessmen. Let's say in Bangladesh, they have Akis Group. They make billions of dollars without a $1 billion business. I want to represent microfinance. They already win Nobel Prize, but they are $1 billion business. I want to represent Islamic finance. I want to represent how like Petronas work or how Sunway Group work. This is actually my objective of life, because otherwise knowledge is not fulfilled. And how I see IBM TV, this is actually meaningful, but do not avoid research. Sometimes it will be helpful, sometimes it will create bring a very beautiful thing. When you IBM TV, let's say 1 billion real like people will, they will show and they will observe. You need research. Mr. Ankit only cannot do this thing. That time you need a big research team. Okay.
He can do everything. That's what I heard. He does everything. But the gaming industry that he's in, Sharif, is bigger than the music industry and the film industry combined. $152 billion is being dumped in 2015 into the gaming industry. So you could add up all the movies, and we do movies on Tuesday. We had a Hollywood movie producer on yesterday. You could have all the movies. You could add up all the music together. But this phenomenon called gaming, which Anjit kind of stumbled into, is bigger than both of them combined financially. It says it right here on YouTube. I mean, right here on YouTube. This is where all the knowledge is contained, is on Google. So I just go to Google and I find all the knowledge that's there. So his ability to, and it's a fast growing industry. It's a cult like following, like the chess players who are sitting backstage right now. The gamers are a cult following. Let's face it. In other words, they're into it. They usually have a technology background. They usually have decent jobs. Okay, so they can afford to spend money on games. So they remind me of the chess players. Right after they're done playing chess, guess what they do? They go play more chess. It's sick. Okay. Well, gamers, right after they're done coding, what are they going to do? They're going to do more things on the computer. They're going to play video games, and they're going to spend money on it. And so right now it eclipses the film industry and the music industry. But what you're doing is quite interesting. You're actually taking stars from the film industry and moving them over into the gaming industry. Do you pay them royalties? I guess that's my question. In other words, do they get paid a royalty for this? Oh, you muted him, man, Kit. Let's not mute him.
Well, nice gameplay about muting and unmuting. Super.
Yeah, okay.
Well, honestly speaking, yes, it's both way. The question is really, really important for all the audience. Do we pay royalty to the celebrities or not? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I'll give you the explanation. Well, for you, sir, I believe you're from Bangladesh and you're based out of Malaysia.
Yes.
For you, sir, I was chosen as you have to crack a engineering degree, and I actually left engineering. I joined economics honors, and I did ecostat math as a combination because I wanted to do business. Then while doing business, I did my MCA, but I never opted for PhD because that was taking too much of time, and I have to concentrate more on making money so that I can grow things. But kudos to you about the PhD. Well, regarding the right kind of answer, when you have a celebrity in local celebrity, I mean to say, for an example, a celebrity in India, they want to access into the Asian market or maybe the European market. When we publish them, when we promote them, they get millions of followers because they are becoming a game character. There we charge them, we don't pay them. When the celebrity is really huge, like maybe a celebrity from Hollywood, I can't share that in a live show because of NDA. But when you work with them, we certainly go for a royalty basis payment, initial payment, and as well as whatever money we are generating, we are sharing with them. It's a both way kind of understanding, and we are really blessed that people do understand our effort and they believe in us, and we are continuing the journey for last 22 years. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I was going to tell Sharif, the thing is, Anjeet had a professor. Oh, wait, here's his professor. Okay. Oh, there. Anke has a better professor than I do. Okay, and so he got his PhD in this. PhD. It's the difference between studying it and doing it. So, but here at IBMTV, we respect both the educators and the ones that are actually doing it. So it's all good. So, we had a new person who's joined us, Shariti. Wow, I can't say her last name. Ankit, do you know how to do this? You have.
Hi, Shruti. Good evening and namaste. Welcome to IBTV Startup Wednesday. And can you tell us about yourself? What do you do? Where are you from? And how's your business startup journey going on?
So, hello everyone. For records, because my last name is pronounced as Kush, Aush, Kush, and WAH. I started my journey accidentally as an entrepreneur when I was taking my executive MBA classes in US. I dropped out from Kellogg's and wanted to work upon something, and it just started accidentally and was exploring. So my background is medical advisor, and then I started my journey to explore more in the fields of crafts, arts, and design. And we had a multidisciplinary design studio initially. This is around 5 years, almost 5 years back. Now I am absolutely running successful. I can say successful industrial design and engineering studio. We're a service-based company. We build appliances, sensors, all the hardwares in startups. We also work with MSMEs, so that's my main business right now. And we recently launched a couple of other businesses also in FMCG and in bar accessories. So those are the other setups which we are building. So that's a little bit of.
Okay. Can you demonstrate your product? I mean, can we look at that on the screen, Ankit? See what she actually develops?
We have a website. I can just.
You have to
Yeah,
press
I
the
can
button
just
share
type the
screen.
name of the website.
Oh, can you put the
And you
website
guys
in the
can.
private chat so that Ankit can put up the website?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I think it's here. Oh, it's Kreluns.com.
Yeah. So I just. Yeah. So it's a very old website. When we used to work as a multidisciplinary design firm, we are revamping and rebranding the whole structure in the next couple of months. So you'll see old projects, old updates on the website as of now.
Wonderful.
Okay, are you able to put up the website, Ankit? Oh, here we go.
Website.
Sorry?
There's the website. Make innovations happen.
Yeah, this is the website.
Oh, did you hear about the design company that was out of Australia that just got a valuation of $6 billion? Are you familiar with that? Let me get you the name of that company. It does something very similar to what you're doing.
I am familiar with there are a lot of companies which are in kind of business which we are in. I've not heard specifically of the Australian one. We're close to and working with some of the US ones. So we do a lot of US offshoring design and engineering work and prototyping. So our main markets are India and US. Right now we have customers from New York and Florida. Yes.
So, Shruti, apart from this thing, you are involved with one more company. Can you share something about that?
So that's the FMCG brand, FMCG company which we are investing in. Like I'm expanding now from service to manufacturing to FMCG. The second company which we are focusing right now is homemade, made in India products, spices, ghee, and dry fruits. So that's the second company. We're creating a home-based brand, not that it's for wholesale or anything like that, but we're creating a brand. So I'm just trying my hands on FMCG because it was on my mind since quite some years. And I just thought pandemic times are the times to probably experiment the things which we always wanted to do. So that's the second thing. But we are also coming up with two products as our own manufactured products in the service segment, just to give boost to our service side of the business. So one of infrared digital thermometer, and second is the bar accessories, a brand new collection of bar accessories. So that's coming up as absolutely two entities of the same service segment.
Okay. Yeah. The name of the graphic design software business, the company is called Canva Inc. 2 days ago, it raised private capital, and now is $6 billion valuation.
Wow.
Well, good for them. We were never. I never hoped for an angel investor or everything. I started from zero, and with zero experience in design and engineering, I started learning it, and that's how it all started. So I don't know whether we're still ready for any sort of outside investments, and I'm not somebody who would be ready until unless I know that this is how I'm going to use someone else's money and this is how I'm going to return it. So I'm a little conservative when it comes to funding and all of that for my company especially.
Wonderful. So, Shruti, do you operate from India or you operate from, countries like US or somewhere
We
else?
have office.
Yeah.
Our main operations are in We have an operation in Pune and one in Ahmedabad. We only do offshoring in the US. So we have clients in the US, but we don't have an operations office in the US.
How was your marketing strategy? How did you get known to these companies or people that you're finding to produce your goods? How did you contact them, or how did they find out about you?
So the first strategy is thought leadership strategy. For any based company, we are creating a knowledge-based thought all sides, participating in expos, participating in media, in conversations, in all of this creates an impact for our B2B business clients so that they can trust their requirement with us. So that's one strategy, thought leadership. Second is, of course, we participate in a lot of mechanical engineering, IoT-based exhibitions across the globe, where in some of them I am as a speaker or in some of them I am as a participant.
Ah.
Third, we are members in certain societies. Just like members in Defense Manufacturers Association of India. We are. I'm also a TIE chartered member, which is the Indus Entrepreneurs Chartered member. So that gives us access to a lot of businesses to speak about, to them and probably take their requirements.
Congratulations. That seems like it took a lot of footwork on your part. You had to make yourself known. You had to be present at these events.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
No, this is very, I just want to, yes, I just want to know, as you are operating from India and you are even women. So actually my PhD topic based on women empowerment and the glass ceiling factors and these things. So I just want to know what type of challenges you face right now as a woman when you start your business, or how you getting support from the local ecosystem, like from governments or your family or from your bank, whatever it is.
So my family has been my strength. I mean, they have known me that I'm a super ambitious girl turning into a baby, of course, now. So that part is sorted for me compared to rest of the women. The second thing is we get a lot of support from the ecosystem when it comes to women. There are a lot of platforms, bringing competitions of women-based businesses, and they can win those competitions. In fact, TIE was one of the platforms wherein they have launched an AF program, and they bring women across the nation, and the whole thing is funded by the US consulate. So programs like that are boosting entrepreneurship. But for me, the biggest challenge is because I was entering a more engineering and manufacturing area, although as a service company, but our more B2B, and we had to speak to a lot of male-oriented businesses. And here, no offenses to anybody, but they looked at me as a young girl with less experience initially, and they doubted on the capacity whether we will be able to do it or. I initially it didn't reflect the kind of strength we had in the team. So it was very hard for the until and unless they speak to my team to make them believe that yes, we have the capacity, we have the capability of handling a project like that. Our actual project size is very high. It anywhere costs from let's say $10,000 to $50,000. It goes higher also. So for anyone to believe in that sum of money with us, it was very challenging. It's been 4 years now, almost being in the business, and people have started knowing. So there is a level of confidence from one customer to other, which is now carried forward. So yes, we did face some challenges. I guess once you prove your point in the market and you say that here I am, and that's all.
So Shruti, you know that right now during the COVID things have changed. So how is the business during COVID and post-COVID? And do you see any industrial design changes post-COVID?
Actually, for us,
Can you hear me?
That's what I'm coming to. Actually, for so COVID times were actually a blessing for us.
Oops.
So there
Well,
is technical issues, so she'll join back again whenever
what
she
she was
can.
going to say is, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think the idea with the COVID was a blessing for her, and I was waiting on how that was true, and so we lost her at just the wrong time for me.
I know, but I think she should join back because she was trying to join back again and again. And
Okay.
there might be some issues because there are a lot of bandwidth issues going around. And
Yeah.
you know, India is facing a monsoon right now, so that's why it's going up and down around most parts of the country. And there's a lot of things going around. I can see a volume coming up somewhere. I'm not sure where whose system is troubling today. Is it
It's a
Jim or
cyclone. It's from the
the
cyclone.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So I think that was a great conversation with Arijit, and we got to know about gaming industry, and he would love to join back again because of short of time he couldn't continue. But I think once we start doing a special show on gaming, because gaming is not just about entertainment, it's about knowledge and it's about learning as well. And we can do a lot of games games like Science Man and Chess Man and all those things because
Yeah.
I think that's the future. Because I am very much so. I don't play games, but I play games which gives me a lot of inner sense to it. And I still remember a game called Monopoly or a game called where we used to play and we used to learn and we used to create more great learnings. I think Shruti is joining us back here. Yeah. So I think there's a lot more things to be done on the gaming industry, and once we have VR and other things coming up, and I think the industry will change automatically. We lost you at a point. We were discussing about COVID and what's going to happen, or what are the changes in the industry post-COVID scenario. Are you with us right now? Can you hear us, Shruti? I think she closed down. I'm not sure whether she.
Yeah, I lost the connection in
Sorry.
between.
It's
Yeah.
happened to all of us.
That's okay. So did you get my question, or you want me to repeat the question?
So yeah, no, I get the question. So I'm answering that, us, it came as a blessing is because most of the companies under the COVID time actually you felt that there is a need to bring innovation in their company. There is a
Yeah.
need to change the product as per the market evolution. And that is where they needed companies like us. The second reason is most companies realize that the overhead cost of hiring full-time employees for
Yeah.
engineering or designing or prototyping was cumbersome to them. So we are more moving towards a world where talent sourcing has increased. The people want to just hire talent for a specific time, and they're ready to pay the fees. So for us, we actually cracked 3 clients in between the COVID times. And we saw huge demand upscaling because everyone suddenly started to change their game, change their product, bring a little new innovation to the product. So that's how it has been with us.
That's wonderful.
That
And
is.
what are we seeing right on the screen? Can you elaborate or share something about these products?
So this is a smart dustbin which we made which we actually conceptualized. We actually did not reach to the prototyping phase. It smartly segregates the dry and the wet waste internally, and it was actually integrated with your smartphone. So it was IoT based smart dustbin.
Interesting.
Wonderful. That's interesting. And what about this water bottle?
So water design is actually a little mechanical design. The client wanted to know what is the weight of the bottle, including the empty weight and the weight with the water, how the cuts are going to impact the mold. So that's where we designed the whole bottle as a engineer. more of a mold design of a bottle and then the actual bottle design. So it's not a lifestyle design in bottles, which you mostly see in other areas. It's a bottle which was actually designed as per the mold, and we ran actually a simulation on this particular project as to what would be the manufacturing defects with this design and where the client might have an issue with this design. So that's what we did with this project.
Wonderful. And these are biodegradable plastic plates.
Oh,
Yeah, these are biodegradable plastic plates, but the problem area here was when you get a complete plate, right?
Yeah.
There are issues that you might not be able to finish the whole food, and the half of the food gets wasted is because you can't close it or you can't keep it back. So this was the problem statement which came to us, and we solved it with a foldable aluminum foil that you can fold it and then you can again close it and then consume the food whenever you want with no leakages around, and you can put it inside your bag again. So this was with an objective of leading towards less food wastage.
So is it leak proof as well? I mean, we just have to cover it and it's done.
Yeah, it's leak proof. Yes.
Wonderful. So, do we have any order for these kind of plates? Because I know that it's a big market in India.
Oh, well, we did not probably lead to any marketing because this was not our concept. We actually signed NDAs with our clients.
Okay.
Until and unless they want to move ahead, we can't practically have any marketing rights.
Okay, wonderful. And what is this smart briefcase?
Actually, this is a lunchbox, a smart lunchbox again.
oh.
Okay, wow, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I think everyone on our panel would like to have this.
Everybody in Silicon Valley would love that too.
This lunchbox looks empty. I mean, why it's empty?
Sure. If you get me a confirmation, I'm saying if you get me a confirmation from Silicon Valley for this product, I'll give you 5 prototypes for free.
So, Shruti, you don't underestimate because Jim is one of our investors and he invests a lot of funds in companies in Silicon Valley and around the world.
I am not ready to take it. That's what I said. That if you're ready to get me somebody who wants it, I'll give it to you.
But the problem is that everyone is wondering that why the lunchbox is empty. There should be some fruits and vegetables or maybe something tempting so that we can go ahead and buy that stuff.
Yes.
Oh well, that because we haven't had many of the products here. I mean, after this is, as I said, this is a very old website. We have done some very interesting projects after that also, which we will put in. But the fruits and vegetables, please excuse me, we did not keep, the designer did not keep it.
That's okay. So how this lunchbox is different from what we have in the market right now?
It retains the nutrition and temperature of the food automatically. It was completely a material innovation.
Okay. And what is the weight of the lunchbox? Because it looks heavy to me. I'm not sure how much the weight is.
No, this wasn't. No, this wasn't heavy. This was actually for professionals who go to office and who take homemade food with them. So there was a section for each and everything.
Okay.
Yes, and you can pack a healthy meal at your home and then bring it to your office where you don't have time to eat well. So you can prepare yourself. Yes. It's a wonderful idea. A tremendous concept.
But Shruti, I mean, on our panelists, our panelists don't have any knowledge about Dabbawalas. Do you think Dabbawalas would be able to carry this briefcase lunchbox?
Yes, they would. They would be.
I think I'm losing your voice
It's
because
lighter than the steel which Dabbawalas carry.
Can you pardon again because I'm not able to hear you properly.
Hello. I'm saying it's lighter than the steel dabbas which dabbawalas carry. So,
Okay,
anyways, it's lighter than the dabbas which dabbawalas carry.
wonderful. And they have a box where you can carry your water bottle as well.
Yeah.
Yes, you can keep a small bottle of water inside it.
Interesting.
Yeah, most of us, have to carry briefcases with papers and documents and things like that. But we could also have our food in it. That would be wonderful. So, is there a compartment there for documents as well?
That was the whole idea, actually.
Great.
Well, if you cover all these bases, I think you would have a hit in Silicon Valley.
But Jim, what do you think? We can have a
Well,
briefcase, smart briefcase for chessboard.
I'm sorry, Ankit. Say that again.
A briefcase for a chessboard. So basically, it's a briefcase, but when you open it, it's like a chessboard. I think Shruti can design that design, and that could have a sanitizer. That could have
absolutely.
and all those things.
That is a wonderful idea because after COVID, what we were talking about is having to wash down all the pieces all the time. And so if it's contained, everybody can take care of themselves, keep themselves safe, and still play chess.
So Shruti, here's the challenge for you.
Yeah.
If you can design a hygiene chessboard with a briefcase, with a sanitizer, and with all those chess elements, we have a lot of orders for you.
The Eid Foundation would definitely step all over that.
No, we are serious. I mean, if you can come out.
Ankit, send me over an email writing the requirements.
Whenever you are ready, we can have a demo. When we are ready, we can have a design demo, and then we can pass and we can work on the product demo whenever it's possible. But I think we can create some kind of business out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I am ready. I said, Ankit, send me a mail, send me the whole brief, and I can just look up to you, and probably in 3 or 4 weeks can come up with a plan.
So that means, Jim, we need to set up a Zoom call again.
Hey, it's one of the things that I'm so grateful for IBMTV to be involved with it because these are the people that I never would have had a chance to meet otherwise. And so, all these things I've been writing down because, of course, Kimberly's not here, but I've been writing down all the emails, all the URLs, and so it's opening up a world of opportunity for me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm sending over the email also on the chat.
There you go.
So, Sharif, what do you think about industrial designs in Malaysia? I mean, it's around the world, but I'm not sure how big is the industry in terms of because people are still who are doing traditional businesses, they don't understand what the power of a design and how much amount or how much optimized they can do their business if they just redesign their product or their approach or maybe their machinery or maybe their product.
One thing in Malaysia, basically, there are many Chinese business organizations, but still there is a chance and a room for like business like this kind of thing because this is necessary. This kind of product is very important and in this market. So I don't know what her plan or something, but she can try in a Malaysian market because Malaysian market is not Malaysia. It's a very good hub for Asia Pacific. Like example, as there are many international people, they coming here and it's a tourism spot. Especially many tourists come here. But example now there are some changes because of COVID-19, but still they have a very good infrastructures. There are many people from international market, they come here, and I think if many people come in Malaysia and this kind of and they have a very good land, very good infrastructure, beautiful business environment, and they are very business friendly. So by this way, you can at least integrate it with the local Malaysian ecosystem. When you integrate it with the ecosystem, I think you have a lot of chance. You never know, maybe you also get investment from here, or you also get, I don't know, like you can utilize your Islamic finance concept or something in for your business because I want to say that Islamic finance in Malaysia and this market, they are playing very good role. So there is a win-win situation for everybody. You can utilize it's anybody's chance. Anybody can come to Malaysia. Even I can say many people even from Silicon Valley, they come to me. They said, okay, I want to start this kind of tech business and these things in here. Maybe they are not too much of successful in USA, but when they come to Malaysia, they get new environment, a new opportunity, new chance, and they explore themselves. So the startup, one point, this is my understanding, like even though like there are some challenges, many startup they cannot achieve their goal because 90% almost they fail. But example, it's my understanding, I don't know if you give them chance from different environment, and different environment you can try with different startup, maybe they can achieve their goal. I want to use this concept like I told you before, this gramming phone, like Telenor company, they are not doing very good in Europe, but when they move to South Asia, so specifically example, they start with Bangladesh, then they move different countries, even they come to Malaysia now. So they're playing very well. So I don't know, like any of the business, as it is the startup show, if they can, if they want to utilize the Malaysian ecosystem, definitely as much as possible we can, we will help. We will help. Here, government also differently.
So, Shruti, if I'll talk about IBM TV, apart from the web channel and apart from yes, you want to say something?
Sorry.
Yes, Shruti,
Yeah,
you want
I
to
was
say
saying that please connect me to Sharif offline. I would be
certainly,
happy to connect with him.
certainly.
Of lately, what Sharif has said, we also with
I didn't get you. I mean, can you repeat again? I will connect with the team, but you were saying something else as well, Shruti?
Yeah, I'm saying in addition to what Sharif has said,
Yeah,
am I audible now?
Yes.
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying we also have a sort of an MOU sort of agreement with hardware-based accelerators in
Okay,
US and in India to give discounted services to startups in hardware. It could be startups from healthcare to sport tech to wearable tech. So that's where we give our services also at a much reasonable cost.
wonderful. And Shruti, what I was saying is that on IBM TV, apart from worldwide television and a web channel, we broadcast to the world with more than 100 countries and people watching us live and recorded. Apart from that, we all are entrepreneurs in our own field and experts, and we do a lot of business work as well, helping people to expand their businesses globally in different countries. So that's why we are connecting the right dots, and we have an arm where we just talk about business and how we can help each other to create more businesses around the world. Because what happens is that you might be successful in India, but if you are in some other country, you have a lot of challenges. So that's why we have board of advisors from Australia, from Malaysia, from Silicon Valley, from Africa, from Singapore, from a lot of countries, and then those people come together and help to expand your arms in these countries, so that at one point of time you can do businesses on all these countries because they're experts and they know how to run it. So that's what we do on IBM TV, and that's why we are here to make sure that we are a big family and we work together as a one world, one family, and try to connect the dots and make uh, everything possible, whatever we can do, and be positive and be successful in what we can do.
Yes. Absolutely.
2 thumbs up.
And you know, Shruti,
Sure, that's lovely.
our viewers would like to know that from which city you are beaming in right now, because there's a lot of
I'm
connectivity,
using
and they believe that we have a good internet connection in India as compared to other countries. So from which city you are logged in right now?
Ahmedabad.
Hyderabad.
Hyperbad.
Ahmedabad has a
Oh,
good,
they should have Google
City.
Fiber there. Come on.
I know that city, Nick.
I know that city. It's in India. Okay. So India. Yeah, but they should have Hyperbad should have good connectivity. I mean, I'm on a Google Fiber now, and I connected it so that I'm not Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi is slow.
But Nick, what happens is that if you want to connect Ahmedabad, you have to say Came Show. If you don't say Came Show, you won't be able to get good connection.
Hey, that's it. Okay, game show.
Yeah, you got to have your game show. Yep, that's for sure.
But Nick,
so now
you don't have
revert what is Game Show, because Shruti has to revert what is Game Show. I would like to know.
Nick doesn't have monsoons in North Carolina, so his connectivity is not affected.
Yeah, Game Show is like asking.
No, we don't have that. No game show. No game show. Not in Raleigh. We're in Raleigh, North Carolina. And for those who have joined us later, this is IBMTV Network. We have Ankit Kandlawar from New Delhi. I'm from Raleigh, Durham. Willie Hill, the mate, is from Australia. Good day, mate. Melbourne, to be specific. Jim Mead is from that socialist country in Silicon Valley. And Shruti is from Hyderabad. And of course, we have Sharif, the scholar from Malaysia. Okay, so everybody, welcome to the IBM TV network. And today is Startup Wednesday, so we're discussing startups. And we also do have a guest who's going to be joining us who does his own little, I'm not going to say it's a startup. Oh, it's Lynn Shepard. Yeah, Lynn Shepard from the Family Dollar Store, one of our sponsors. Is going to tell us what's going on with the Family Dollar Store. Unfortunately, you cannot buy these things in India, Australia, Hyderabad, India, or Malaysia, who happen to all join us. So you can only buy it in the United States of America right now. But, things will change. So, Lynn, tell us what's going on with the Dollar Store, one of our sponsors.
Things will change. Well, first of all, happy to be here. Happy to talk about the fact that we're sponsoring Money Masters PBS, which owns IBM.TV. We're really pleased that we can do that. We love the mission to basically cut the gap between poverty and financial sustainability. We do have an online store. We deliver in the United States to all 48 states. Purchases for over $25. Is that my background that's causing that? Because I hear a lot of background noise. I hope it's not me. In any event, we deliver free for purchases over $25. And we have an absolutely fantastic rewards program. We have gift points, which is like getting a gift card. And so when you sign up to become a customer, all you have to do is just sign up to become a customer. Go to the big green button on IBM.TV, which will take you to the family.dollarstore.com. And by the way, if you're colorblind, like my father was, it doesn't make any difference. The button's round and you can see the shape. Just push the button and you can sign up to become a customer. Well, when you do, you get $5 worth of gift tokens, which are just like getting a gift card. And then for every purchase that you make, you get additional gift tokens. Now, if you sign up this month to become a customer, we're going to give you an additional $5 worth of gift tokens. And if you bring on somebody else, somebody that is tied directly to you who signs up, then you will get an additional $5 of gift tokens, plus that person that you bring on will also get $5 worth of gift tokens. So what can be better than that? Because you can use them anytime you want to on the store. And we have tons of products, over 4,300 items. And if you're really ambitious and you want to spend over $1,000, we actually have a site that has 32,000 items. On our basic site, of the 4,300 items that we have there, 60% are made in the United States. And ultimately, when we go we're working on getting an online store in India. When that happens, there are going to be a lot more of Indian products. Malaysia is coming. Australia is coming, Willie. And ultimately, South America, not South America, South Africa, because there are a number of people who come on here from South Africa. And it looks like Ankit has brought up a copy of the site. We have some great stuff. We have dust masks. You can get 50 dust masks for $25. I know that if Kimberly were on, she'd tell you that she's been in the store, and one dust mask can cost $2 or $3. Then there's some beauty products, things that the gentlemen who are on here today and I would not particularly care whether we got, because we don't care whether we have lines in our face, but ladies do. And we have one product that we sell for $4.99. It's sold on Amazon for $67 plus shipping. And we have a lot of things like that. And Kimberly would also tell you that we have face masks that she buys in the stores where she has gone. She buys them for over $20, and on our site, they're for around $2. We have CBD products. I noticed that Jim dropped off for a little bit, but Jim is a big proponent of our CBD patches that have lidocaine in them. And, you know, people who play chess, as Jim does, they get tendonitis in their arm from moving the little chess pieces around. So they absolutely have to use them. And if he's going to play Sasha, then in advance, he needs to put them on his head, because there's going to be a lot of pain from playing Sasha. Anyway, and if you can see some of the things that people are shopping for today, we have paper products, we have tons of stuff, but the important thing that Kimberly likes, and that is Minion napkins. So we have lots of things Minion, and if you're into there they are. So why not shop? Here's what you do. You become a customer. You're automatically going to get $5 worth of gift points, okay, gift tokens. Now you go to shop. You find $25 worth of items, okay. Now you're going to have free shipping. Now you apply your $5 worth of gift tokens, and you're only going to pay $20, but everything is still going to be shipped to you for free, because what you put is going in your basket is worth $25 or more. And then because you signed up by pushing the green button and became a customer through IBMTV, then you're going to get an additional $5 worth of tokens, gift tokens. And then because you're going to recommend a friend to become a customer, you and they are each going to get $5 of additional gift tokens. Now, we normally give Money Masters, the not-for-profit whose mission we're supporting, we give them 50% of our profit. But through July 31st, we're going to give Money Masters PBS 100% of our profit. So please sign up and support the mission. We really believe in the mission. And it's interesting because it really originally started for young people to be able to take and teach kids the value of money, something that Jim and I never learned when we were going through school. At least I didn't until I got into graduate school. And I'm not going to tell you I learned a whole lot. But the interesting thing is today, there are an awful lot of people who, because of what's happened with COVID, they've lost their jobs. And I bet they wish that they had learned financial fitness. And that's what Money Masters PBS is teaching to people. So support the store, support Money Masters PBS. Don't leave your house, because you don't have to leave your house. That means you won't get COVID. That also means that because time is money, you don't have to drive anywhere to go to a store. So you can use that to your advantage. And you're going to get products for less money. And you're going to support Money Masters PBS. So what can be better than that?
Lynn, I've got to ask you a question.
Thank you.
Lynn, I've become a repeat customer, so I've got these tokens, and I want to share them with friends and family. And how would I do that?
Very good question, Jim. Thank you. You're my straight man, my setup man. And I'm going to tell you two things about that. Number one, if you buy and make 3 purchases, we're also going to send you an additional $5 of gift tokens. But now you go onto your site and you say to your friend, become a customer. Then when you do, then I will send you some gift tokens, which are in addition to the gift tokens they get just by signing up. So it's a win-win-win. So anybody can do that. In fact, I just sent some gift tokens to Ankit, who, by the way, Ankit can't shop online. Well, he could, but we can't deliver to him because he lives in New Delhi. But the fact of the matter is, Ankit has family here in the United States and friends here in the United States. So Ankit can contact those people, say, sign up to become a customer. And because you're supporting Money Masters PBS, we're going to send you some gift tokens. And I can do that for other people who may know people here in the United States, because our objective here, it's not me personally to make money. My objective is I want to support Money Masters PBS and the mission of Money Masters PBS. So there we have it. Did I answer your question, Jim?
Yes, thank you very much. So all I have to do is get people to become a customer, and then I can send them my tokens.
You absolutely can send them tokens.
Okay.
It's very easy to do. It's right in your, all you do is go into your customer account. There's a drop down, and on the drop down, it says My Rewards Points. You go to the bottom of My Rewards Points. You put in the email address, you put in the name, put in the amount of tokens you want to send them. You write a message to them. Thank you for supporting Money Masters PBS. Hit the send button, and they're on their way. Yeah. So Ankit, did you get yours? Because I sent them to you this morning. Yeah. You did? Good. Okay, good.
So Lynn,
so there you go.
I would like to introduce you to Shruti, and Shruti is an industrial design expert based out of Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And Shruti, we have Lynn Shepard, and he's one of our sponsors from Dollar Store. And Lynn, Shruti is having a lot of amazing designs which we have seen, like lunch boxes and amazing stuff. And also, she's working on a chessboard, which is a post-COVID certified hygiene chess box for Jim and for Sasha and all our chess experts. And maybe we can try to sell them on Dollar Store.
Okay. Well, maybe we just need to connect offline. How's that?
That's perfect.
That's what I told Jim, that now it's time to have another Zoom call.
Okay, we can do that on a Zoom call. We can.
Yeah. See, this is
and
how,
I see Will is here.
IBMTV works, man. We could get to India, we can get to Pennsylvania, we can get to Silicon Valley, put our minds together and make something happen.
Don't forget Melbourne.
And Melbourne.
And for our viewers, I would like to remind you again that I am Ankit from Delhi, and we have Lynn Shepard from US. And Lynn, can you share about which city you are in?
I'm in Pennsylvania. Well, I'm actually outside of, I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm outside of Philadelphia in a very small town called Bernathen. The interesting thing is we don't have mail delivery here. We're probably one of very few places in the whole country that don't. But that's okay. I don't mind going to the post office because, in fact, we've had no COVID cases here in Bernathen, which is really wonderful. So we're just north of, about 20 miles north of downtown Philadelphia, and it's really great. So one of the places in the world that I definitely want to go to is Melbourne. Haven't been there, and I've always wanted to go to Melbourne, so I will go there. I have been to the Socialist Republic of Northern California a lot, so unfortunately,
But Lynn, I have to watch one thing. You take it as a warning or just a suggestion that if you want to go to Melbourne, you need to learn the hook turn, because that is the only turn which happens in Melbourne, nowhere else in the world.
What is it? What is it?
It's a
And
hook
how
turn. It's a hook turn. Hook turn.
Yeah. Tell us how it works.
Yeah, tell me.
If you need to turn right, you need to go in the left lane.
Okay, what about that?
You already drive on the wrong
Valley
side of the road.
There is one more catch to it. There is one more catch. You need to take left, and then you have to wait everyone to cross that light, and then when there's red light, then you can take a hook turn, and that hook turn will also bypass a tram, which is also running while you were driving and you were waiting for the red light. So it's not that easy.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Do they have Uber drivers there so we don't have to do that, Willie?
That we get
I remember my first hook turn. I wanted to take a hook turn, and then I drove like 5 miles just to see whether I should do it or not. And then on an empty road, I tried a hook turn, and then I was like, okay. Now I'm certified hook turn specialist.
Certified hoop turn expert. I didn't even know that.
It's called a hoop turn. Okay.
Okay. And it's in
transportation.
the CBD. It's in the CBD area. So every intersection has a hook turn. Every intersection, and there's like 7 streets down this way and 10 streets down this way, to the left and upwards. So hypothetically, there's like 70 hook turns you need to do when you're in central Melbourne.
Really? That's funny.
That's why we get Uber drivers to take us around.
Uber drivers.
That's right.
Travel. Let them do it. I don't do that stuff
so where is Shruti from?
Shruti, where are you from?
From Gujarat.
Hyderabad.
I'm from Gujarat.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Gujarat, India.
Okay, great, good. Okay, well, Willie, she's going to be. We're going to get an online dollar store to Shruti and to Ankit sooner than we get it to you, but we're not going to forget you.
We don't forget Australia. You can't forget it. It's too big of a place, mate.
Yeah.
Well, there's Melbourne, there's Sydney. I know Perth.
Perth, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Cairns, Uluru, Canberra, Sydney. We don't want to forget about Sydney. That's pretty big.
I was born in the United States. I don't know about these other countries.
Okay, a quick question to everyone. What is the capital of Australia?
Oh, everybody knows that. It's Canberra.
What is the capital of
It's Canberra, yeah.
It's Queensland.
Canberra.
You know it, but not everyone else. Confused between Melbourne and Sydney.
Yeah. I mean, you know, everybody knows it's Canberra, right?
Everybody?
Yeah. Well, not you, but everybody but you. Okay. So,
I know that Berkeley is the capital of the Socialist Republic of Northern California.
Absolutely.
Not everybody knows that.
Oh, I do. So does Nick.
I do, yeah, I know that. You know, we try to stay away from it. It's just the way. Oh, we got another guest who's just arrived. Just a minute. I'm going to beam out and we'll beam them in.
He beamed out. There we are.
Oh, there's
Hey guys, how are you?
All good.
How are you?
Good. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning,
and Jim and Willie and Ankit.
So,
and Shruti, yeah.
When are you going to get your extra gift tokens by becoming a customer on the Family Dollar Store, because you live in Maryland, so you can we can ship to you.
Yes, definitely. Right after this call today.
Good.
You will see my token there.
Okay. And we'll send it to you.
Ketul, we have a bot on Dollar Store, and we are checking that if some Ketul stopped on Dollar Store or not, because we are keep on checking every day, and we know that you are not shopping.
Sounds good. You know, I'm waiting when we actually help you with the payments. You know. Lynn.
There you go.
So then probably you will
So
see
that
a
happens.
beautiful
So
token.
Ketan, that happens once you experience a payment on dollar store, and then you can come up with a case study that you have paid something, and now this is the turn that you have to do it in a better way.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
And
So
there
that
is
is
one offer. There is one more offer from Lynn. If you buy $100 stuff, or if you promise $100 stuff from dollar store, we can make you live on IBM TV doing all those purchases live on
Right.
IBM TV.
Right. You
Well,
can
Ankit,
show
I
it.
don't know what $100 bill looks like.
I have a bill. I mean, if you want, I can give it to you right away.
I don't
Here's the
know.
bill.
Oh, is that what it
Here's
looks
the bill.
like? That's what it looks like. Oh, okay. All right.
but
Now I
be
know.
careful.
And what we just we do a trick. We just do it like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if Sasha lights his cigars with it.
And Sasha can have a lot of $100 because he plays chess, and there's a lot of things to be won when you
Lots
get
of
the
money.
move on chess card.
Yes.
Yeah, he plays chess with all those people who have pain to play
Oh,
with.
yeah. Yeah. First time. But it wasn't so much Sasha's, his guest, Alexei Shirov. After I played him, it was, oh, boy, was my head hurting. Oh. But
Ketan, how are things in Maryland, and especially in US during COVID, and how are the payments industry going on?
So there are a lot of good news. Like everything started back to normal. Restaurants are opening back. I was talking to a few lodging customers today early morning, and they also have a plan to reopen everything, like a big resorts and like a golf resorts and spa and all. So it's excited, but a lot of new challenges out there. Like everyone wanted to move forward from, as we discussed in last couple of sessions, right? More on the contactless side, the payments instead of like using your plastic card and all. So there are a lot of new advanced technology out there that we are working on it. Plus a lot of like e-com businesses are taking off now, especially like after uh, this COVID, like they don't have that many customers in the store, like a physical location. So everything's like a family dollar store, online dollar store is like pretty advanced now. A lot of people can buy stuff online, and that is what people are trying to go towards that direction, that everything should be available online. People can order, they deliver to their home, so they don't need to actually go out and shop, right? Plus there are a lot
But
of other
if I do go out and shop, can I pay with this?
yeah, that is exactly like some locations already started. You can use your contactless payments or your Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, what god knows how many wallets out there in the industry. But you can basically pay with any modes of payments.
So tell me how are you involved in that?
So I'm working with a company called Shiji. It's a mainland China company, but it's all over the US and UK and Australia and Hong Kong, Singapore, everywhere. So we do business globally, and uh, what I am belongs to, like I'm belongs to mainly from the payment industry. So in the past, all my previous experience in the payments, and we partner with all these different processors like First Data, Chase, Alevon, Thesis, Heartland, and we process that transaction. So basically, we work as a gateway providers,
I
and
see.
we provides also a technology stack like a point of sale devices or PMS, property management solutions. We have a lot of customers in the US as well, like mainly the biggest customer that we have is all the stadiums like Mercedes-Benz stadiums and San Francisco Giants stadiums. They process through NCR, and then we process the payments. So we partner with the NCR and others. So basically the whole idea is like we take the payments and we process. That's our main goal. And I'm talking to a lot of restaurants owners recently, and that is what they plan because they are reopening their restaurants. So uh, they want the advance, like pay at the table solution for the payment, so you don't need to carry their cards and go to your back office and swipe or chip in or whatever. So you can pay through directly through the table, as well as like a QR code payment, so you can scan the QR code and make a payment. So there are a lot of ways that we are educating them and providing a new technology stack for any businesses. And that's what like we were discussing with Lynn the other day about this your online store, that how we would love to have a chat about this, the payment portion, with your technical team and see if we can help with anything, or if you guys need any help with the different payment methods like Alipay, WeChat Pay. A lot of other pays are available, so not only just like a Visa, MasterCard, but there are a lot of others method of payments are.
I will make the connection. I thought I put my
email ID.
I think I put my email. So all you have to do is email me.
That is what I'm going to do that.
It's nice to see. I'm glad to see you're international with this, because that's probably why you got the giant stadium in the Republic. The Republic of Northern California, the Socialist Republic. So
yeah, and especially like for the like whoever is interested to do business globally, like you guys, like if you want to set up your store like in different country, like then the payment portion is the most important thing. How you're going to take the payment, and you don't need to integrate with like so many different partners all over the place. Like if you go to India, then how you're going to take the payments in India, or if you go to Australia, how you're going to take the payments out from Australia. So instead, like having to go with like all these different partners, like you can work with the company who's providing global solution for your payments, and that is what we have been doing it, and we love to do that. The discussion.
And Ketul, we have Shruti with us, and she's from Ahmedabad, and she is expert in industrial design, and she would ready to create a new POS machine for you, which is hygiene, full of machine, and people can use it post COVID, and it's a certified COVID machine. Shruti, so I'm just trying to generate more business for you, and Ketul is from one of the biggest payment industry company based out of US, and I think they transact around 700, 800 million payments every day. Is it that, Ketul, or I'm over-exaggerating the figure?
No, yeah, that is like the number that I gave you. But I don't have the exact numbers, but that is what, like, roughly we are doing that many transactions.
And they're looking for a lot of like an interesting POS machine, and also a machine which can hygiene the dollar note, because Jim likes to share a lot of dollar notes from everyone, and they have a lot of bacteria. So how can we make sure that my note is more hygiene than yours?
So, I didn't hear the last part of that. How can you make it what?
Send me an email, Ankit, and we will discuss on an email.
Okay.
That's
so she's ready for a Zoom call. Yeah.
And Ankit,
I want you to make a chessboard that can also pay, so that so that Katu can process the payments in my chessboard. So all I have to do is hold it up, and I can pay for anything with my chessboard. Would you make that?
One question, actually, Ankit. What exactly the Shruti is doing? Actually, I think her voice is like a little bit on and off, but what exactly?
She remodel a lot of products, or she can create new industrial products based on the current requirement. So that's what her expertise is. Basically, if you want to create a product, so she can design the product for you based on the current requirement. And so post COVID, the industry will change automatically, and we have different requirements with more hygiene and more other stuff. So that's what she's doing. She have already shown a smart dustbin, a smart lunchbox where you can carry your lunch and water bottle and things like that, and a lot of other stuff. So maybe we have given her challenge to make a smart chessboard, which is like a briefcase, and which is light and which is hygiene free with a sanitizer and things like that. So maybe she can do something for POS as well.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. Yeah, but the cash is going away, in future. So
yes, I agree. He's going to be
Special,
holding up that
Maybe-
$100 bill, and no one's
maybe-
going to know what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, but maybe Ketul, she can design a card which you can carry, or maybe which is hygiene proof or something like that. I'm not sure because she's an expert, so she have more knowledge to it. Suti, you want to comment something?
But really, we've got to.
We actually designed a card. We actually designed a smart card for somebody. Uh, can
Yes.
you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm saying we actually designed a smart integrated card which had all the details of a personal profile, contact number, email ID for somebody, and that's a smart visiting card actually. You just need to scan from your phone, and everything of that person gets in your phone. So we are doing those steps here also.
That's
Okay, so
wonderful. So
it's like a QR code, right? That you read the QR and QR has all that information.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
So one quick question, Katu.
Yeah.
Can you do payments from a QR code?
Yep. We we do, and that is actually like now very famous. Like you, for example, if you heard about Alipay and WeChat Pay,
Yep.
right? That is all based on QR code. Like all you
Okay.
have to do is like scan the QR. So let's say you have a I'll give you the example so you have a very clear idea. Let's say you have a normal mom and pop shop, right? A deli, right? The sandwich like stuff, and you don't have any website or nothing, and you just started up. So how we can help you, right? So what the QR code payment does, and normally in generally in the payment industry, not like what my company do or other company, but in general. So let's say the company is offering the QR code payment. So what they give you, there are two kinds of QR code. One is a static and one is dynamic. What Shruti is using is a static QR code. So let's say for example, if I give you a static QR code, you can probably stick on your wall, on your restaurants or deli. And if any customers walks in, they they order on their app, right? That
Right.
okay, I want a club sandwich, right? And then at the final, they make the payment. They scan that QR, and that QR has your bank information and your store information, like a merchant ID and all those, like whatever the information is necessary to process the transaction. That information, your information has. So all they have to do is like scan that QR and make the payment. As soon as they make the payment, the transaction goes all the way to reaches to your bank, and you get the message, text message on your device, which is you linked when you board that merchant. So you get the text message saying like so and so person paid $8 for the sandwich, whatever. So you know that this person already paid for it, and you just give uh, the sandwich, and you're done basically the whole transaction. That is what the static QR code, and that is what Shruti is using on that
I think,
visiting card.
yeah,
Yep. So
yes, Suti.
anybody can.
Ketul, Paytm is using a lot of QR code
Yep.
based
Exactly.
payments.
Right.
Yep.
Explain to someone like myself and Lynn what's the difference between this and a barcode? Because we understand barcodes, but tell us what's the difference between a barcode and a QR code. Or
You're asking me or Shruti?
yes, please.
Oh, so barcode has a number. Okay, that number may be linked to a lot of other information. Okay, but the QR has a lot of information on that QR. So if you read the QR like correctly, there are a lot of like squares and dots and all that. So there is the entire mechanism that have your information actually on the QR
I got
compared
it.
to barcode. Barcode is just a number that
Yeah.
So like for example, token,
And
right? So let's say if I shop on your dollar store, right, online, and you have entire my profile that Ketul Shah lives in Maryland, so and so card number is on file. This is the address. This is the billing information and everything. My phone number, right? So you can generate the QR based on the entire information. So that QR contains all that information, or you can generate a barcode number. So let's say like number starting with like 88888. right? That barcode number belongs to me. And then so you have to read that barcode, and then barcodes fetch my information and de-tokenize entire my information and give it to you. So barcode has only the number. Maybe you can link to a lot of other information, but the QR has a lot of other information that floating around. And there is the other thing before we jump on something else, but there is a dynamic QR, which is more secure. How the dynamic QR works is like, let's say same example I gave you. You go to the deli, right? Order a sandwich, and then there is a, instead of like, the static QR hanging on the wall, instead of that, uh, the the consumer, sorry, the merchant initiate the payment on their system. So there might be a little payment device sitting on their desk,
Right.
and that light up and show the QR code displaying. So instead of you scan it, you have to scan the dynamic QR, which is like only related. That QR has the transaction information, the pricing, and everything, and that is only active for certain time. Once you
Right.
scan it, the process done. That QR is useless, so nobody can copy that
Yes.
QR and do
Right.
more transactions. So that is what the dynamic QR. There are also consumer QR and the merchant QR. So
Okay.
basically, you can have your own QR and you can make a payment, and you can tell the see that's why, like, the payment industry is really really big to understand. It's not like just taking the payments and done, but there are a lot of aspect that it's
I think
very
Ketul, what we have to do is what we have to do is, because we are talking about a lot of technical thing and people are not able to consume it, so we just have to give a quick brief that QR means quick response. That is the full form of a QR code. So to get quick response, that's why we have different codes for different purposes and different objective, and that's how QR code work. It could be static, it could be dynamic. You can have
Exactly.
your own QR code, and you want to pay something to me, it show you my QR code right away.
Well,
If everyone is ready to pay.
Ketul,
So that's how QR code works.
I don't have to understand it as long as you do.
Yeah. No, basically, let me make it like simple one. Let me make it simple one liner, right? You can have your QR code hanging on your cap, right? You can walking everywhere and buy stuff and tell them like, hey, scan my QR. This is my payment information, and you're done. That is called the static QR that you carry everywhere. And the dynamic is like, hey, I have my phone. Give me your QR. I'll scan it and I'll make a payment. That is what the merchant side of QR.
So,
Dynamic.
yeah. So you're telling me
that's my QR, Jim.
You're gonna write QR for dummies.
Kim, that's my QR.
So this is called QR. Yeah.
So Jim, that is my QR.
I get it. I'm starting to figure, and I apologize that you didn't know that I was talking to you, but asking the question of you. But I was looking right at you, so I didn't know why you didn't know who I was talking to.
but Ketul, what I realized is that with our viewers and our panelists, that we should do some kind of journey with a lot of different payments demo online, so that our viewers and our panelists and a lot of people would understand how we make the payment. Because right now we are just discussing. We're talking about a lot of different payments, but if we do some kind of a payment experience for them, that would be a great option. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. So basically, like, I right now we can definitely arrange, right, some kind of a demo, or I can like I can send you like some videos that has like the whole payment experience, like how to scan the QR and all. There are a lot of videos on different company create, so probably like we can see that it's on YouTube and available how to make the payment. So probably we can use that on that. Otherwise I would definitely like once we have a more technical discussions, I'll definitely explain more on the technical part, how the transaction works and all. So yeah, let me know the way you want, right? And I'll help you with that.
We can do both the ways. In fact, we would like to invite some of your partners or people who are using your payment gateway, so that they can show us how they're using it and what kind of benefits they have, and they can also share a journey about how easy they can make payment.
Yeah, like I can try to reach out to them. I'm not sure, like, exactly how they're gonna show us or tell. Basically, like, this is like a different system that we are on, right, for this. So I'm not sure how to cooperate, like, using the,
I
like,
understand. That's
showing
fine.
the entire transaction and stuff. But I'll definitely, like, I'm happy to
Sure.
talk to them and figure it out, like, if they can jump on and, like, discuss about this. So I'll
Wonderful.
definitely reach
So,
out to
Ketan,
them.
I have one more. I have one more interesting question because you
Yep.
know that during this globalization, a lot of countries they do a lot of big transactions. Okay, to buy a lot of stuff and mostly defense stuff, and that requires billion-dollar transaction. So, how a company like India or maybe any other country pay to a different country? Maybe because India is just doing some deal with Russia, so they are paying some billion-dollar money to Russia. So, how the country to country do a transaction in between?
That
Do you
is
have any
very
idea about that?
secure. No, I don't have any idea how they're dealing with other countries, especially
Yeah,
on the payment part. That's way
yeah,
beyond
that's why. Yeah, because
our payment. Our basic goal is like help the lodging industries, retail, restaurants for the payments. So I'm not sure like how the country to country payment works, and especially like when they buy goods or services outside. But I can tell you like the normal human being, not the president level and all that, but like a normal human being, right? When you go to the other country, how you gonna make a payment, right? Through your
yeah,
United States cards, or
Yes.
your American card or your American currency. How you gonna pay? So there is called the dynamic currency conversion. It's called DCC. There are a lot of industry uses. So let's say, for example, if Jim is like traveling right to Australia with his the US card, the credit card from Chase, and let's say he buys something in Australia and they ask for Australian dollar, right? How he's gonna pay for it, right? So the best way is like that company, whoever is asking for the money, right? The merchant, they have a system called dynamic currency conversion. It's a process. So what that happened is like if you wanted to pay in US dollar, they actually went to like in the US part, they actually go to the New York Stock Exchange and get the latest rate, the conversion rate. That is what in
yeah,
Australia the company do. They uses like a different partner to get the latest rate and convert the money into the US dollar, and then they charge your bank in the US dollar instead of
Australian dollar.
Australian dollar.
Yeah,
But like,
I have not
but
been to Melbourne, but I have been to Paris, and I paid with my American
yep,
Express card, and I can still hear the guys in his. He said he put the card in, and they were waiting and waiting, and then he said, "The Anglais," because it took too long to process. But that's what they were doing. They were converting the cash and trying.
but always I'll tell you one thing. This is for everyone's benefit. DCC, it's kind of a rip off, dynamic currency conversion. So whenever you travel abroad and you have to pay for something, always pay in the US dollar.
okay,
Basically, talk to your bank, like if it's Amex or
right,
Chase or anybody, talk to them that what rate they are using. Normally, like Chase is using New York Stock Exchange rate, but First Data is using Fexco rate, and there are like so many other different providers.
Right.
And basically, they will do all the conversion on your behalf,
okay,
your bank, and that is the most beneficiary way to do that, instead of you ask somebody else to do the conversion, because they might have a huge profit margin out there, and you
yeah,
might it might be expensive for you. So always like pay on your own currency wherever you go, and talk
Yeah.
to your own bank. That is what the my suggestion for anyone who's traveling. I always travel with my Chase card, and I'm super happy because they don't have any additional fees to use DCC, and I always pay everywhere in US dollar. Even in India, I bought a lot of stuff in India. I pay always in US dollar because I
that's
know that
wonderful.
they are using New York Stock Exchange rate. They are converting everything, and I don't need to worry about any other extra charges. So
Yeah.
That's
You
an
know, I've
interesting
been
tip.
writing. This has been a great show. I've been writing things down. I've gone from the 24th to the 25th because I've been writing down too much stuff. I couldn't fit it all in one day. But your idea about I do check with my credit card before I travel, but I didn't understand why I was doing it until you just explained it to me.
Yep.
So do they do? I'm sorry, Willie. Just have to ask Jim a quick question.
Yeah.
Do they do the conversion in the Socialist Republic of Northern California? You know,
No, because we believe we're all equal, so we take your money.
Sorry, Willie. Go ahead.
Katul,
Yeah.
in the QR code, is there an escrow component?
On
Jim will like this. Okay, just say I'm going to challenge Jim to a game of golf putting or a game of chess, and we're putting $10 down and winner take all. So every time I do a move, I scan my QR code of the move. Okay.
If I understand
And-
correctly, you're asking that the fund from his account and your account put it somewhere,
Yep.
right? And then
the winner take all.
yeah, meaning, but whoever holds that money in between,
Yep.
we don't see them as a different than the other entity,
Okay.
like your bank. So we
Okay.
see as a bank. So it's like if you put the money from different sources and put it in one account, we see as an account. So if you are the winner, all we have to do is like take this money and send it to your account. So all we take care is like process that transaction, and
Okay.
that's all. So
Okay, good.
Well,
But
Sasha
Billy,
and I
you know
were doing
that
I was paying in
point of
U.S.
going to
dollars
that
and he was
kind
paying in
of,
Canadian dollars. So I was a loser.
But Billy, if you want to do something like this, Dave, you have a better solution. Give me the money and I will take care of it. You don't have to. Yeah.
but there are a lot of companies already doing it. Like for example,
I know,
Venmo.
yeah.
If you know
Yeah.
Venmo, right? So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
also have everyone's money is on their account somewhere,
Yeah.
right? And you can send money from here to there,
Yes.
whatever, right? The transfer, and that is easy. Like it's not actually on your bank; it's on their server or their bank,
So
wherever.
how does Venmo make
Do
money then?
you think that it could be a business model as well for someone like maybe if I want to offer a kind of a solution like escrow for people who do a lot of transaction in between and they wanted to make sure that when the transaction is over, that money will go to that person. We can create some kind of a business model out of it.
Meaning, yeah, we can, but that's more like a financial process instead of the payment part, because payment is like very simple on that end. Like you can link the payment anywhere you want, right? Whatever. But the whole escrow part, like taking from here to there, it's more like a financial industry flow. And as to Jim's question, right, how the Venmo makes money. Right. So every time they the transaction, they take their shares, like 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, depends on like what uh, the in between exchange, like in between the partnership that they have. So that is what they are. Like for example, let's say if Jim sends like $100 to Willie, right, from his account to Willie's account through Venmo. So what Venmo do is like take the money from your bank account, right, and then send it to Willie and take their shares out of it.
But he gets the $100.
Yeah, they get from the bank to process from one to the other.
Got it.
So there is like a lot of different models. Like for example, uh, you know how they make it. It's based on like the contract agreement that they have.
Yeah.
But so what they do is like they take your fund right from one bank and then put it on one account in middle and then transfer to other account, but that account is also Willie's account is also on Venmo.
Yes.
So it's basically the money is with Venmo. So they invest that money until Willie take that money, they invest somewhere else, they make money out of it, they take shares out. So it depends on like how there is a lot of ways in between, right? That's what I'm saying. Like the payment is most critical. Once the payment leaves from here and reaches here, you don't know in between what the
Yeah.
other entities do.
Right.
So they maybe invest. Like for example, I'll give you one good example. Probably you guys heard that in the past or
Okay,
not.
I just take a time out. I think Shruti needs to leave, so we just have to say bye to Shruti. Thank you,
Hi,
Shruti, for
Shruti.
joining us. We'd love to host you again. It was wonderful to have you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Shruti.
you.
Bye-bye. Take
Yeah,
care.
I'll be waiting for our email for the chess thing.
Sure. Wonderful. No problem.
I will use the big pawn though. It's so
Thank
so
you.
wonderful to have met you.
Yep.
Thank
So
you so much. Nice.
thanks, Shruti. Bye. So Jim, like Jim and Willie give you one example. So probably you heard it, but in the US, right, there's a Walmart. So what Walmart do, right? They get like a Coca-Cola product from Coca-Cola factory, right? Let's say
Yeah.
they get a whole chunk because the Coke product, like Coke factory, like they want their product to sell in Walmart. So what they do is like they put that kind of agreement that hey, I'll send you all my stuff to you. You can sell it on your Walmart and give me money after 6 months. That is what the Walmart agreed on that. So what Walmart do, let's say like you give 100 cans to Walmart to sell,
Yeah.
right? If they sell that 100 cans within like 10 days, right? They're still not going to give you your 10 cans money until 6 months.
Yeah.
So what they do, that money they save, they invest somewhere else and
Yes.
then make profit. So basically your invoice comes after 6 months. So that's why like, the money
Yeah.
is, a lot of big corporates, like they invest money to something else and all because they are in the situation to make that kind of contract.
Oh
you know.
yes. I
So
understand.
there are a lot of ways that you can take your share out of any
Yes.
transaction.
Yes.
So
So they have to be. They wouldn't be doing it as a charity. They're doing it for money.
yeah, and the thing is like whoever holds that money, there are a lot of ways for them to make money out of that money.
Money
We
makes money.
money
Yeah.
makes money. We don't really hold the money. We process the money. So
Right.
from one place to the other place, that is what we process, but we don't really hold the money.
Right.
Yep.
So
So
that's fascinating because because what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, is that you're on the processing end of it.
mhm.
So you're not holding the money, correct?
Yep.
So they must pay you to process it.
Yes, so they use our service for like some, like a monthly basis, like or subscription basis or transaction basis. So, like for example, let's say uh, it depends on like how the customer or how the merchant sees as a more profitable. But usually, let's say uh, we decided to charge money per transaction, then we take like 10 cents out of your transaction, right, for processing all the way to your bank. And that is what sometimes we do, or like a subscription, like monthly, for example, $100 a month, we charge you to
Yeah.
use the service, and you can send as many transactions you want. Doesn't matter what amount or nothing, we'll just process it.
Right.
So it depends on like what uh, um, the money model that you wanted to choose.
Yes.
But that's what a lot of that is what how the payment industry works, that they take their shares. Sometimes some company, they give the gateway business like free. They said, okay, but you have to have a merchant account with us, and we will hold that money for you and process, and then they give you everything free. So that's other way of doing business. We are not in that business. We are not holding the money, as I said. So we don't provide the merchant account. We all do is like processing. So let's say you wanted to process to First Data, we'll say, okay, we'll take care of that part. So take the money from your website, process through First Data through your bank account.
Right.
And that is what we do.
Now you get paid. You get this payment because you're not holding the money. You're getting paid. But do you invest that money like they do to make money off of your money, or do you plow it back into
No,
the company?
basically it's like a revenue for the company, right? So
Right.
if we whatever the money that we make, it's a revenue, and how whatever the company pays for all these employees, salary, expenses, and all that. So basically, we are not in the business of like reinvesting the money that we are not in that business. But there are like different companies out there who actually makes money out of it. As I said, I give a couple of examples. Those are actually doing a lot of investment from somebody else's money. So basically, I'm using your money and invest, and I make profit out
Yeah.
of it,
Yes.
and then give your money back.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. But when you say you increase your processing capability, that takes money, and
Yep.
so people are paying it. You have to invest it into your business to increase your capacity, and then
Yep.
you get more business, and you
Yep.
have to hire more people. So
Yep.
you have to use that revenue to pay people.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like how to make profit out of the whole processing, investing, and all that is what uh, it's a other kind of a discussion. But yeah, that is what we do. Like
Yeah.
take the payment as much as we can, process the transactions, more revenue, for the company, and more business. Like more subscription is a good way of doing. Like look at that. Like Netflix is doing like subscription, right?
Yes.
Every month they charge you, regardless you watch or not, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. That is exactly the subscription is the next thing, the big thing. Like
And
have more and more customers on subscription, and that's your business will be stable.
YouTube Music charges me every month, whether I'm listening to the music or not.
Exactly. Yeah. So now it's up to you. You have to use more.
Yeah.
You're paying for nothing. So but that is the model is very successful now. Everyone, like, look at all this, like, membership, right? Yearly membership, and like any aquariums or zoos or everywhere, like they charge you upfront. They say like, okay, yearly membership, give us $100 and visit as many times you want. Right now, if you don't go this year, it's your loss. They got their profit.
Yeah.
So that is what do they do. Like Mercedes-Benz stadiums, right? When they reopened, they sold the like a lifetime membership. So each seat on the stadium is owned by somebody,
Right.
right? And they have to buy season tickets every
That's
year,
right. That's right.
regardless of you wanted to go or no go, or you wanted to buy or no buy. It doesn't matter. You have to buy.
Yeah.
My strategy was to know people who had season tickets, and when they couldn't use their tickets, they would give it to me.
Exactly, because that is what that is the other business. So like oh, I'm gonna sell
That's
my
the other
season
business.
ticket
Yeah.
to somebody,
Yeah.
and because I'm not able to go and watch that game, so why
Yeah.
not sell it? Because it's loss for that whoever owns that seat.
Right.
So the subscription is the next way of having a successful business.
I agree.
That's why you need more and more customers who come more often to your store, online or wherever, buy the subscription, and then have all this facility available for that customer. So
So even if you get hit by a pandemic, you've already got them subscribing.
yeah, like look at the Amazon, like their business is not going to go down. Forget
Right.
about the pandemic or whatever. They still, the money is rolling,
Yes.
because they have a lot of customers who are like Prime members, and they keep buying stuff. They pay uh, money and all that. So there are a lot of uh, like a new trend that you will see in future.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I'm seeing it right now in the present.
Yeah, and a lot more in future. Like for example, like facial recognitions, and a lot of like new technology to do the payments. Like if I know you, Jim, right, I don't need your card information. I know how to take money from your bank account because I know you and you signed up for it, right? And
Yes.
that's all matters. You don't need to carry everywhere your the
Yes.
plastic cards and your
Right.
phone or nothing. So that is what the new ways of the payments that is going to come.
Yeah.
uh,
And we,
yeah.
we need that for our social security cards too, because I've been carrying mine around in my wallet, and it's a flimsy little piece of paper, and it's wearing thin. And so maybe we will one day have a social security card by facial recognition.
So there is the
That would be
other
good.
way. There is the other way. One of the customer recently reached out to me. Not the customer, actually, the big merchant. Actually, we call the customer, but it's a merchant for you guys.
Yeah.
So the so the merchant reached out to me to tokenize their the customer data.
Yeah.
Not the payment. There's nothing to do with the payment. Just to tokenize the data. So a lot of social security numbers or your phone number or your addresses. So how you gonna tokenize and how you gonna de-tokenize, right? So what we do is like, okay, we collect all your information, we saved it in our secure PCI DSS compliant server, right? And we
Right.
give you a token. Basically, that token is nothing but in form of like QR code or in form of something else like a random number or something.
Right.
And whenever you open your phone, right, through your facial recognition, like by Apple, right, and go to a certain app, right, and then scan that QR or open that QR, you will have all your information because we tokenize that. So there is already in place, like the tokenize any data, we can do that, or anybody can do in the industry now. It's very trendy.
Yes.
You reckon that would be the next police step? So when they come and ask you, can I have your ID? They just scan your face
So that is
and do facial recognition.
one really good video that I recently saw. So that is already happening. Like a lot of CCTV cameras also scanning you. So before even like they reach out to you, they know that where you are and who you are, right? By scanning your face, and they know that exactly your information, that where you're coming from. Because look at, I forgot the name. There is a company who has like 3.5 billion faces on their database. Wherever you put your social media or LinkedIn or wherever, they take all the public images and create your profile.
So what you're
And
saying is that no matter what year we're in, it's 1984.
for us is 1984. For them, they are living in 2030.
Okay.
They are more advanced than us. So what I'm saying is like, it's already in process right now. Like, your profile already they know, and they are more investigating now how to use all those like CCTV cameras or traffic cameras to
Yes.
actually track the person.
Correct.
Especially on the COVID situation, right? That you have to know like if somebody's infected or not. So that's how they track that person, that this person went to this store,
They can get that trend.
store.
And that's
They know.
vital
So
data when we're facing
And Jim, I'll tell you one thing. It's kind of a warning that whenever you do a Zoom call with Ketul, they have a technology that whenever you come online on Zoom call, they deduct $10 from your account. That's how they started Zoom call.
why they take out $10 from my account?
It's just a registration fees to talk to Ketul because he's a payment expert, and then after the call, based on the conversation and based on whatever
They
you have
take their-
discussed, they'll take
They
more
take
money
the-
from you.
I
That's
think
how
that's
they
a
work.
good idea. I should start that consulting thing, right? If you want some answers,
Yeah.
take out money from your
Always.
sign up for it.
I've got no space for tomorrow. I've written down so much today.
So, Ketul, I have a
Yeah.
question regarding Visa Master. So you know that Visa Master are one of the oldest companies, and they make sure that your payment gets secure. But now, when we talk about cashless and there are a lot of payment gateways coming up, where do you see the company like Visa Master in the payment industry?
So I don't have like too much information about Visa Master in that company, but every company, like if they want to survive in the next 20 years or 10 years of the new way of new normal, as we say, they have to have more advanced way of taking payments or doing business, right? They cannot survive in the old mechanism going forward. Like you cannot swipe the card anymore anywhere, right? Because first of all, none of the processors are happy with swiping the card.
Yeah.
It's a high risk transaction. You cannot like keyed card number on your website, and that is also very high risk transaction, like a manually punch in the card information. So you have to have like a lot of advanced security measures, and the way of taking payments is also impacted. So everyone has to move forward ahead with the time. And now it's a time for contactless and like cashless industry. So still you will not survive by punching the card. First of all, majority of the processors not going to accept your transaction. So you have to have compliant with the latest, technology. So that is what my answer is. Like, everyone has to come up with the new technology or come up with that, market.
Why I have this question, because a lot of our viewers, after the show, they talked to us and they wanted to know that they are still getting the Visa, Mastercard, Wi-Fi card, and things like that. And we are talking about transaction which is cashless, which is without the card, only with QR code, and only with different ways of payment experiences. And they are not seeing that thing in their countries. I'm talking especially about the countries who just have a Visa, Mastercard launched now, because you know that if you compare US and China to other countries, there's a lot of gap.
No, that's definitely. But so, like, it depends on country to country. Like, for example, in Dubai, like, if you go in some of the resorts, like, they still take cash to, to stay, even though those are like a 6-star resort from the big company, but still they take cash, right? So I'm not saying that, like, the cash or the manually keyed or all that is going away right now, meaning it's gone. I'm saying, like, it's eventually is going to go away in future, because, you know like, for example, like in the US market, right, they said, like, if you keyed a refund, if you want to refund somebody as a customer and you keyed the card, is not going to acceptable. Forget
Oh,
about it. So you cannot run that transaction. It's not going to get
yeah.
approved,
Obviously.
right? So eventually they're going to start, and then they're going to apply to globally. But still, like, cash is, like, like in India or like in other parts of or in the US, right? Cash is the thing that is not going to go immediately, right? It takes time, but eventually it will go, because, like, especially after the COVID, like, nobody wanted to carry the cash and pay it. Like, nobody, they said, like, no cash payment. They said, like,
Yeah.
only the card payment. Even if you go to Walmart and some of uh, the self check-in kiosks, they not accept the cash. They said, like, if you're paying the card, no, then go to the other side or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's gonna come, like, eventually. It's trending now. So
Right now,
And
if I go to the ATM, I have to put in my ATM card, but then I also have to key in my PIN code. Do you think,
yeah,
do you think that's going away too?
definitely that should go away. That pin is like, everyone knows your pin,
but
because you
still,
saved so many places. Like, a lot of people still write that pin on the piece of paper and keep it in their
yeah,
pocket. So
Not me.
if somebody, or a lot of people use their phone, on the notes they save those pin, or any social platform, like, not the social platform, but like any website, or like Evernote, or so many, like, the app that is available, that, but
Yeah.
you have to know, like, if that is compromised, then your pin and your card information is gone. So anybody can do that, and I can replicate your, the swiper card as well. So
but Ketul, now in India we have a cashless way to use ATM. You don't have to use card. Just pin your mobile number. There will be OTP generated. Put that OTP and you can withdraw cash.
definitely, yeah, that is the other way of doing it. But yep, but that is also,
So I
like,
think
still,
mobile. This is more important than I think card or something like that, because this you can't miss.
yeah, and that is what I call, like, a cell phone is a new generation's a point of sale system, or
Yes.
PMS system. Is actually entire system on your hand. You
Yes.
whatever you want to do. So that is what, like, and even the Apple Store also has, like, a lot of advanced payment options.
Yeah.
Like, you can
Yeah.
buy online, just walk in the store, grab the product, and leave. You don't need to even see anybody, because
Yeah.
everything is, like, taken care by, like, cameras watching you. They track your product. You pick whatever the product, and they know everything, like, the system. So it's everything is advanced now.
But what
And watch.
happens to the
And
workers?
there is one more
Mhm.
theory going on in India, especially. I'm not sure about the other countries. That once we have cashless payments going around, we have less corruption as compared to what we have in India, because cash is gone out of the system, and people know what is being transacted to which person, and then it's easily trackable. So, do you
Yep.
think we can save a lot of corruption once we have 100% cashless?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, meaning, like, you straight from one bank to the other bank, you're processing. So it's very
Yeah.
visible. Plus, a lot of customer data or information is floating around. right? So as a gateway business, like, like uh Jim where he stays or Willie where he shops, I know,
Yeah.
and I can sell it to my other customers. Like, for example, let's say like a Hyatt hotel, right? I can tell them that, hey, I know Willie used to stay in Marriott every month because he's traveling, right? So I think you should give him an offer, or like a
Yeah.
discount offers or something, so he can stay with you instead of them, something like that. Just giving you example is not a,
Right.
but it's like, you can sell if you have a lot of information about the customer. You can sell, like, that is what they do, right? Amazons or all
Yeah.
that, like Walmart.
They all
If
do.
you just search on Google, right, something like a suitcase, right, immediately you will see that advertisement pop up on your
Suitcase
It's so true.
everywhere.
everywhere.
Everywhere you
So
look.
that
It's
is
so
what,
true.
because they do research on you. They know that what you are looking for, and they try to sell that information to others. So
Yeah.
it's normal, and I don't think it's a bad thing, right? It's just a, like, it's beneficial for everyone,
Well, let
kind of.
me take the devil's advocate position here and say, okay, we go to this cashless society, we go into this place where we can just walk in and take the things, and so what happens to the laborer? What happens to the workers? We're no longer paying people to do those jobs. So this is an impact on our society that we may not be prepared for it. Yes,
Mhm.
technology is doing tremendous things for us, but where do the jobs go?
Yep. Then the jobs goes behind the desk now, instead of standing on the desk. Like, for example, like if you have all this like new technology, then you need like a lot of new employees who with the expertise and new knowledge, right? So
Yes.
that is what it happens. But I understand, like, there's like a labor work. It's kind of like, in the different zone now. But there are a lot of other jobs that are available for them, that opens up like more like a, I don't think as a top of my head, but you know
Yeah.
there is a way, because everyone wants to reduce those fat finger stuff and all that, right?
Yeah.
So there should be, machine should take over that part at some
My
point.
my suggestion though would be that we teach them the skills that
Hmm.
you're describing, that for them to become employable uh,
Uh-huh.
in our school systems. And so instead of learning about European history maybe in high school, you would be focusing on how you could become a processor of money.
Yeah, or technology, yeah, more
Yeah.
like a IT work. I definitely, yeah, I agree on that. And right now, like, that is what, like, even though the machines are there capable of doing a lot of things, still you need, at this point, you need still a manpower behind it, right?
Right.
Even
Yeah.
standing there to help the new generations to, in order to seamless process. But yeah, eventually, now look at the Tesla. It comes with the automatic car, right? But still you have to sit in the car to go to one place to the other. It can drive, but you still have to sit there. So, like, it's a new way of,
and, and even at a base level, all of
mhm,
us still have to eat.
yeah.
That food needs to be planted.
So
That food needs
restaurants,
to grow.
yep,
Restaurants will still be there. They may not be in the industry they like, but they will be working. They will be
exactly.
employed. You know.
Exactly. So that's not gonna go anywhere, right? The
Yeah. Yeah.
restaurants is gonna be there, cooks gonna be there, servers gonna be there, right?
Certainly.
And in the lodging side, obviously the front desk should be there, right? If you stay in the hotel, right, and everything is machine, and now you need something or some issues, and there's only machines there, how are you gonna communicate to machines, right? If you
Obviously.
So you need a man there. But I understand, like, there are a lot of, instead of, like, let's say you have like seven the front desk station, right, and you have 7 employees. Instead of that, probably you just need like 2 employees or one
Right.
employee to
Right.
handle that part, because everything is automated. So that could be like, there is a scenario.
Well, I went through high school and college, and I came out with no skills in the modern world.
Hmm.
And I'm just harping on the subject to say that we need to be teaching these skill sets that for the modern society, instead of the
Hmm.
skill sets that were applicable in the 18th century. Um, and until we do that, we're going to produce people that are educated but unemployable.
Yep.
Yep.
That's I agree with that. Yeah. Like a lot of in India, now, like from beginning, they actually teach you how to do coding and IT work and all that. So that is the industry that they were in the past and now also. So we need those kind of stuff, like more technology, more vision. I was reading one article today, and what we are teaching our kids, right? You don't know that kids is gonna invent something in future after 20 years when they grow, right? So what we are actually teaching them right now, we are teaching them the basic. We are not teaching them how you're gonna uh, fly your car in future. You don't know, right? We don't know.
Right.
So
So,
so how you gonna teach them how to fly the car in future, right? They're gonna invent for
Right.
you after 20 years. So that is exactly it's gonna change a lot of philosophy out there, but uh, eventually, all we have to do is go with the market, go
yeah.
with the trend, and make sure that our customers are happy with how to take the payments, and it should be a very seamless process for consumer as well as the merchant, so
That's
I,
everyone
wonderful.
I
can do their business.
Nikul, that was a good conversation, and I think it's time to wrap up because we have a show coming up with Sasha, investing stocks with
Perfect.
Sasha. And thank you for joining us today. It was a
Yeah,
wonderful
thank you
discussion.
guys.
Thank you
Looking
very much,
forward
and
for the next
hopefully,
session.
hopefully we will have a payment experience demo with all those people using different kinds of payments next Wednesday, so that our audience and viewers will got to know that how they can make a payment. Because right now it's all about talks. We just need to share some experiences with them. So maybe
Yeah,
we'll try to
definitely.
sort it out.
If you reach out to few folks on the payment industry, we would love
Yeah.
to have a discussion, right?
So
Enjoy your iPhone.
thank you, thank you. It's time to start a new
Thank you,
show.
guys.
See ya.
Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's our investment show now. And we're going to go into essaying and discussing and learning, it depends where you are and what's your experience, on the world of options. What we're trying to do here, we're trying to help people who'd like to take more control of their own investments. It's their own money, and they have to do the best they can in this very, very complicated situation where we are now, both economically and politically, and there are many other aspects that I'm not going into right now. Where you see the connection between politics and investments, and why, if you're doing investments, you cannot ignore politics. You remember a few months ago when there were discussions about sanctions and trade deals with China, and Trump could say that, well, no, there is no deal with China anymore. That's it. So the market would tank 1,500 points, and you have good stocks, and you did your calculation, all your work, how to profit for these investments. In one word, market tank, your stocks went big time down, and now you're in disarray. You don't know whether to sell it, to stop losses, or maybe to get more of the same stock, or do whatever. Um, However, next day he can say, "Oh, everything is fine. The deal is already arranged or close to be arranged, so the market will go up 1,000 points on that day." However, if you were unfortunate enough to sell that stock a day before, you lost your money, and guess why? Because you underestimated the interdependence of investments and politics. So don't underestimate that. However, when we're talking about modern investments, you cannot blindly buy stock on the belief that it will go higher and therefore you will make money. Because in every situation, on each transaction, there is a buyer and there is a seller. So when you're buying stock, why don't you stop for at least a minute and a half to think? The person or investment fund or mutual fund or whatever it might be is selling that the same stock that you want to buy. Why are they selling? What's the reason? Are they desperate for money? Maybe, maybe not. Have they changed their outlook on that securities that you're about to buy? Maybe, maybe not. At least take a couple of minutes to think about that. Maybe you will reconsider your decision to buy that stock, or maybe you will buy half of the positions that you were originally thinking to buy. Another thing is, why not try to use options? Speaking about options, let me try to share a screen with you. So now we are going to see okay, here it is, I guess. No, I don't see that page. Okay, I'll find it in a sec. However, I don't want to make a mystery out of the options. This is very simple thing. In fact, I mentioned in one of my programs that why there are no courses on options in school or higher education. It's simply because everything what there is to learn about options, you can do it in, say, 2, maybe 2.5 hours. Let's discuss a couple of things. First of all, what options are and how they work. What is actually an option? First of all, there is a misconception about the options, what it is, because there are company options. For example, if you were working at Apple, just basically as a I don't know, to a cleaner. You were cleaning the floors in their offices. And they gave you an option to secure that you're not going to quit and going to do cleaning at the Microsoft or somewhere else. They gave you an option. Let's say Apple stock was at the time, say, $10 a share. So they say, okay, here is an option that in the next 3 years, you can buy 1,000 shares, maybe 100,000 shares, depends on your position. You can purchase 100,000 shares of Apple at $10 in the next 3 years. It's a company option. It's incentive for you to stay with the company and work better. And if stock of Apple went from $10, what it was approximately in about 2002, and it went, what is it now? $350 a share, yeah? And you still have the right. Let's see, okay, in 3 years it wouldn't go to 350, but it could go to probably $50 a share, right? But you have option to buy 100,000 shares at $10. So you would have to come up with $1 million. How to come with $1 million, that's another story. You can borrow, you can share these options with somebody else who has access to this type of money or so on, but that's not for today's discussion. So now at $50, the same $100,000 option, sorry, is worth $5 million, right? So by exercising your options, you will make, with very little effort, $49 million. Can you imagine that you're still continue to work in Apple, you're still doing the floors or so, and however you have $49 million sitting in a bank account of yours. And actually there were cases where people didn't quit their jobs, they will continue to work while having tens of millions of dollars in their bank account. Mind you, they had to pay taxes, but that's another story. They're still well off even after paying taxes and not using all kind of deductions and everything else. But we are talking about company options. They're not, as far as I know, maybe there are some exceptions, but they're not tradable options. I mean, probably there are ways around it, but for all purposes of today's discussions, they're not tradable simply because there is no open market where you can do that, to my knowledge. Okay, now we are talking about tradable options that you can purchase and sell any day, anytime while the market is open. So what is really an option in a sense, what I've just explained, tradable options that you can buy and sell anytime? An option you purchase is a contract that gives you certain rights. Now, we are talking about situation when you purchase an option. When we will finish our options discussions, you will understand that you never ever purchase options, you're selling options. But let's discuss it a little bit later when you will understand what the option is in the first place. Depending on the option, you get the right to buy or the right to sell a stock or other type of investment for a specific price during a specific period of time. Okay, to simplify that, let's imagine that you have a house. Let's see it's paid off, house worth, say, $500,000. And someone comes to you and tells you, oh, please, I would like to have a right to purchase your house for $500,000 in next 3 years. Oh, you will say, no, I'm not interested, because what if the house will go higher in value and I can sell it for $700,000, but you will come to me 2 years later, 3 years later and say, okay, here's money, I'm buying your house, and you flip it, or somebody who did that with you will flip it and pocket $200,000. You would disagree with that. But if he will tell you that he wants to buy your house for $600,000 in the next 3 years, you might say, okay, maybe well, that deal sounds much better. So if you will buy for $600,000, I'll make $100,000. But what's happened if the house is worth $700,000 or more? So I will lose all my profit. So you might, but at the same time, in 3 years, your value of the house may not go anywhere at all. So what you would tell him is that, you know what, I give you the right to purchase house at $600,000 in the next 3 years, so you can make a hell of a lot of money. Maybe the house will be worth $1 million in 3 years. How about if you will pay me some compensation? At the same time, you are acquiring a right to my property at a certain period of time, at a certain price. Why don't now, and there is no guarantee that the house will be going. Also, if it will, you will also pocket $100,000, which is the difference between $600,000 and $500,000. So you will net $150,000 minus all the usual expenses, some legal fees probably. Well, there are some people who will help you with that. So you will net roughly $150,000. in a matter of 3 years, it's $50,000 a year, and you don't have to really work particularly that hard to pocket the 50,000 a year. It's not maybe a bad deal. So, okay, so let's see, your opponent will agree to that. He'll paying you $50,000, and you have now a contract that he has the right to purchase this house from you within 3 years for $600,000. The deal is a deal, done. Both sides are happy because you are pocketing potentially $50,000 in a spot and potentially another $100,000. Now, the person who paid you $50,000 believes that your house is in very good area, and people are selling and buying real estate like there is no tomorrow, and the house definitely will go higher in price. The only thing is now he needs house to go to $650,000 in value, so to speak, at least to justify his $50,000 investment and $100,000 that he will have to overpay, which is the difference between $600,000 and $500,000. But imagine if his right in house will go to $700,000 or maybe much higher, then he's done a very good transaction. He will make money. You may not be happy at this situation. You would be actually very happy if the house will stay no higher than $600,000. Most likely he will not exercise his right. So you will end up with $50,000 and you have your house, which went up in a little bit higher in value. So maybe you will find another person who will do similar deal with you and you'll pocket a little bit more money. That's great. I mean, so essentially, same thing happened in a stock options. Let's see if Apple today is some $350 a share, and the person believes that Apple will go way much higher. It will go easily to 500 a share, maybe 450. Stock, man, and I'd like to offer you something. Okay, I'm all ears. Please tell me what do you want. Okay, here's what I want. I want to have a right to buy Apple stock from you for $355 in next 3 years. Nice, $5 profit, but only if the share will go higher, because if shares will be $354, he's not going to do it. Why pay me $355 when he can buy it on the open market at $354? Well, what's happened if Apple stock will go to, say, $400 a share? That's quite possible. So, but your stock is already out at $355, so you're losing $45 on each share. So if you have 1,000 shares, you're out of $45,000. No, that's not a good deal. So you will ask him, okay, how about if you will pay me some compensation? Because if stock will indeed go to 400 or much higher, or even to 360, I'm losing money or potential profit. So why don't you pay me, I would say, fair deal, $50 a share, okay? And then you can buy it at any time next 3 years. You want to buy it for $400, for $375. Okay, let's discuss that. But $50 right now, right here on the spot, 1,000 shares, give me $50,000, and the deal is yours. So you might negotiate, maybe not 50,000, maybe only 25. He'll give it to you. Then you will say not 3 years, but only 1 year, and not $400 strike price, but let's see, 385, for example. So you can bargain with him and discuss all of that. Okay, that's possibility. That's possibility. However, we're still calling about. We're talking about something what in investments known as a call option. A call option gives the owner the right to buy a stock at a specific price. But the owner of the call is not obligated to buy stock. That's an important point to remember. So he has right to buy stock at a specific price, but he is not obligated to buy that stock. So let's say stock is of Apple 350, and guess what? It went down to 340. But the purchaser of the right to buy your stock, he is under no obligation whatsoever. Actually, Apple stock can go to $5 a share. He has no obligation whatsoever. He has only right. Okay, so that what calls call option, and that gives him a right to acquire a stock at specific price at a specific period of time. It's very important point to remember. Now, there are two types of option. One is call option, which we just discussed. We are going to do it at a much more extensive presentation. However, there is another type of option. There is also a put option. Put option gives the owner the right, but again, right, not the obligation, to sell a stock at a specific price. So let's see how you can use it in real life. Put option. Okay, let's concentrate on this Apple stock to make it simpler. It's $3.50 a share. And now I believe that the stock probably will go lower because of the uncertain environment, the political, economical, who knows what's going to happen. Who knows if Apple may go down to, say, 300 a share. Wouldn't it be nice to have a right, not obligation, just right, to sell that Apple stock at 300, when the stock may go, in fact, to only 250 a share? And all of a sudden, you have a right to sell it at 300, so you have opportunity to pocket $50 per share. If it's 1,000 shares, we're talking about $50,000, simply because you were right in foreseeing the movement of the stocks, that it will go lower in price, and you locked for some reason. For example, nobody gives that right. Why would anybody would consider that unless you offered some incentives? For example, if he would tell me that, look, I would like to have a right to sell you that stock at 300 a share in the next 3 years, I would say absolutely not. What's happened if stock will go to 250? And now you have right, and I have obligation to buy from you that stock at $300 while it's trading at 250. That's a horrendous deal. No, I'm not going to even consider that. So he will tell you, okay, I understand. Okay, that's what we are going to do. I'll pay you a premium. I'll pay you, say, $25 a share. Apple will go higher. It's a fantastic company, so don't worry. I'll pay you $25 a share. So for 100,000 shares, I'll pay you $25,000. How about that? Oh, that's a different deal. It makes all the difference. Now, so you think, okay, I'll pocket $25,000. Stock will not go to 300 or 250 or whatever. It will go to 500. Okay, give me your money. Excellent. We've done the deal. Everybody's happy because he now is happy that he has a right to sell you stock at 300, which is trading at 250 or who knows, maybe much lower. And you, because you believe the stock will go much higher, you just pocket $25,000. And now, as soon as coronavirus will be over, you will take a trip around the world. And you're both happy now. You're happy, and your purchaser for $25,000, he acquired a great right. So he's also happy. So everybody's happy now. The deal is done. But what's really happening in the real world? In the real world, options started traded in Chicago Board of Trade in 1973. So there is a huge, enormous market for all calls and puts, and it's on any stock like Apple or all the other well-known stocks and not so well-known stocks. And the market is very efficient. There is every second, or a fraction of a second, if you will, there is a bid and ask for any option. What that means? That means that you don't have to negotiate whether you want to get $25,000 or $26,000, and your opponent will say, no, no, I'm going to pay only $21,500. There is no such thing. The prices are bid and ask, and on things like index or even Apple stock and some really liquid stocks, they are calibrated into fractions, sometimes even 1 cent, for example. That's a difference between bid and ask. So the options are very liquid. They're easily bought and sold at any time. Let's see, you bought your put, for example, and then Apple went up in price and you feel that your put will expire worthless in 3 years. So you say, well, you know what, I made a mistake. I will lose $25,000. I still can save 15, maybe even $20,000 by admitting my mistake, go to the market and sell your put at certain loss, unfortunately, but you still recover most of the capital that you've invested, and so you can go to another deal. But the person who sold you that put, yeah, he will probably will be happy with a smaller profit, but there is no risk any longer. There is no risk that stock will go down to 250 and you will incur losses. However, there is no negotiations. There is a market makers that operate all type of option trades, and therefore you don't negotiate that I want to sell my option for $20,000 or $15,000 or so on. There is a bid and ask at any given time. So you will easily exercise one of its positions. So we have to remember for now, for all practical reasons, there are two type of options. Calls, you remember what calls are. Calls give you a right to buy stock at specific price during a specific period of time. And you have only right, if you purchase the call, have right, no obligation. So you purchased a call, you purchase a right. You have no obligations whatsoever. The person now who sold call, now he virtually has no rights, but he has, because he's collected money, that's what his right. He collected money. Isn't it nice? I think so. I do it every week. But he has obligations. Here is the exchange. He collected money, but he acquired obligations to sell you a stock. The same Apple stock went to $500 a share in next, say, 12 months. But you have obligation to deliver your stock. Let's say you sold call, let's say $400 call. Stock is 500. You still have to deliver your stock 400 a share. Now, with the put options, the owner of the right, the owner of the put, he paid money to acquire the right. But again, nobody just the right to sell you a stock. It could be actually not even stock. It could be index, for example, S&P, so-called SPY, for example. Now, he has right to sell you stock at predetermined price, but he has no obligation. Now, if you sold him that right, now you have obligation to purchase from him the security, for example, Apple, at 300 a share if you sold that particular option, a put. even if the price went to 250 or, God forbid, 250. So you have certain obligations. Not a pretty situation if that's what's going to happen, but you were paid money. Here is an exchange. You sold somebody the right to sell your stock at predetermined price, let's say at 300, for example. Or it could be, he could sell you even, he could acquire for the right to sell you at, say, $325 a share. And you would have to deliver the stock at that particular price. Now, so in a put, same as in a call, you have two sides. You have a purchaser of an option, say call, for example, and you have a seller of an option, which is also a call. And the same thing on the puts, you have a purchaser of a put and you have a seller of a put. Now, to understand a little bit more about this, let's talk about certain thing which calls time. Time is probably the most important component of option trading. What that means? When somebody bought a call, right, to purchase shares of Apple, $400 a share for the next 12 months. He paid certain premium to do that, okay? Now, let's say stock is not moving anywhere. And it's at 350, it goes up to 360, down to 340, but staying around this price for some time. Let's say for next 3, maybe 4 months. What's going to happen with the price of an option? Well, guess what? Since you already have only 8 months, if it's 4 months already passed, you have only 8 months left for a stock to go higher in price to 400 or even higher. Actually, it should go higher in order for your call become profitable. Oh, there are some bad news for you. During this 4 months, your call is going down in value. Let's say you purchased it for, say, $50, just to make it simple. You bought it for $50, and in 4 months, nothing really happened there. Your call most likely will not cost $50 as when you purchased. It will go down to, I'd say, maybe $32, maybe less. So now you're losing money if you will close your position. However, let's see, you think you're still right. Some people I've heard even averaging down, so they're buying more, another 1,000. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about calls and puts. That one put, same as one call, carries one lot of 100 shares. So if I'm talking about one call for Apple stock, one call is equal 100 shares. So if I bought one call today for Apple, it means I have a right to acquire the stock from you, and we're talking about 100 shares. If I bought 10 calls, I have a right to acquire 1,000 shares. So let's see, some people, for example, they bought, say, 10 calls for Apple stock. So it went down from $50 to $30 a share. And they think, oh, if it was a good deal at $50, it's a way much better deal at $30. So I'll buy for $30 another 1,000, not 1,000 shares, but 10 calls. 10 calls will give you right to acquire 1,000 shares. So now you have already 20 calls representing 2,000 shares. Your average price is $40. Is it a good deal? Hard to say, because we don't know which way Apple stock will go. Maybe in next half an hour it will go to $385 a share, and he'll make actually a lot of money. It may not happen either. Actually, it may go down to $325 a share, for example, and even it will stay the same 350 for the next few months. Now you are losing a lot of money. We are talking about 20 calls, and you pay $40 your average price. Oh, you're losing now $80,000. Am I right? Only 8. Well, it's a kind of a tragic development, really. However, it's very happy development. It's fantastic development for someone who sold you. It could be actually not even a real investor. It could be a money maker. It could be um, a, let's see, market maker who is dealing with Apple options. For him, it's an excellent deal. By doing nothing, taking some risk, but his risk only that he would deliver at $400 shares, which cost him only $350 at today's prices. However, maybe he acquired Apple when it was only $150 a share. So he may be somewhat limited. He limited his profit potential, but he was paid cash. Don't forget for this. So that's not such a bad deal for the market maker who sold you, or investor. For example, if I have, say, 1,000 shares of Apple, and I will sell today 10 calls, I will have to deliver my shares at $400 a share, while stock may be 450 or even 500 or maybe much higher. So I limited my profit potential, but I locked in this profit, plus I was paid to do so with very little risk, if any. My risk is only if I collected, say, 40, 50, say $40 for each call, $40, right? So let's see if Apple stock will go down to from 350, where it's today, to $310. Guess what? I'm not losing any money because I was paid $40 for a call that I sold. Now, if stock will go lower to 310, then I'm incurring some losses. However, I can still hold on to the stock. It may go higher in price. Also, I may sell more calls. Not at $400 a share, but at, say, $350 a share, to generate more opportunities for me to make money. And this way, I have a good stock, Apple. There's not many stocks better than Apple these days. And I'm collecting premiums that people are buying. Okay, now, in all history of option trading, there was only, I'm talking about 1973 when it all started, until today, year 2020, if I'm correct. There was only 1 year in all history of option trading where purchasers of options, both calls and puts, beat the sellers. The year is 1987. Anybody remembers what's happening in 1987? Yes, Black Monday, when Dow Jones went down in one day 22%. So people who would buy a day before Black Monday, or a week before Black Monday, or even a month before, if they would buy puts on the index S&P, at that time it was OEX was very popular option vehicle. So if somebody would buy 500 way out of the money puts, we'll discuss out of the money, in the money, or so on. That person would make a killing because he could buy some fractional, some little puts paying maybe 50 cents, maybe even lower, and he would buy a lot of puts. And after Black Monday, they would multiply in value. They would cost, instead of say 50 cents, they would cost probably $50 each. And he invested a couple of $1,000. He would make a killing. He would walk away with $200,000. So we're talking about 1 year in 47 years. So we're talking about 46 years when sellers of the options made the money, and only 1 year out of 47 when purchasers made money. Very important thing to remember. So when you are thinking about buying options, either calls or puts, knowing that in 46 years out of 47, the purchaser lost money. Very interesting propositions. So you're working mathematically in a proposition where in 96% or so, you will lose money, and 4% that you're going to make money. Well, you definitely need help. I'm pretty sure medical help, which hopefully somebody will provide for you. Unfortunately, I'm not a doctor, I can't do that. But hopefully you'll find the right professional who will help you. So, and what we are going to discuss today and next week and next month and next 10 years, I hope, we're going to discuss never, ever buy options. Although, I must confess that in the markets like we have today, it will be very profitable at the end of February to buy all kinds of put options on index, on Apple, on just anything, and you would make a hell of a lot of money. I must admit that. I wish I would do that. I didn't. But you could. You could make a lot of money. Now, once market went all the way down and started to recover, that would be a pretty good strategy to buy calls. You would also make money, not as much as if you would sell puts in February, but you would still make pretty good money. But who would guarantee you that that scenario will take place? So it's very speculative, a scenario. You could probably, if you are following the strategy 90-10, you see your 90% of your investments are in solid stocks, bonds, and most likely they will generate 10% of profits. So your other 10%, it's like money that you can really gamble. Let's see, you can go to Las Vegas probably. I don't know if it's open already, but if it will be open soon, okay, you can take this money, go to Las Vegas, you can buy lottery tickets, you can bet on sports. There are no sports today, although European soccer is doing pretty good. Actually, I've made some bets in the last few days, pretty good. And yeah, you can do that. That's. But you know what? In Las Vegas, in sports betting, you have much better chances than buying options. So why don't you do that? Okay, take your 10%, 9% you can go to Las Vegas, do anything, and 1%, just 1%, take a pleasure to lose some money, buy options, puts, calls, anything, whatever will come here. And if you're lucky, because there is still 4% chance that you're going to make money. Why not? If you do that 100 times, so 96 times you will most likely lose money, and 4 times you will probably make money. And this 4% may, just may, generate all the losses that you incurred in 96% that you lost money. You know what? It's not so bad. Now, if you'll make even more, then probably you will offset all your other 96% of losses and you will walk away with profit. Fantastic. You know what? Maybe I'll do that one day when my wife would allow me to do that. I have some discretionary funds, not much, Maybe I'll try to do that. However, knowing that my chances are 4%, somehow it's very difficult to convince myself to do that. Okay, I'll have to work. I'll have to probably be more brave than I am, although it's difficult, but I will try. So now we have this opportunity to understand the options, and I promised to talk a little bit about talking on time value and also in the money or out of the money or at the money. Oh, there are three things. Okay, let's discuss one thing. Okay, if that's very simple, even I can understand. If you're talking about, let's see, same. Oh, you know what? The hell with that. Okay, let's talk about gold. Gold is it's a physical gold, of course, we all know that, but it's also a symbol of a company, Barrick Gold Corporation, which extracts and sells a lot of gold. Their shares are now worth, last time I looked at, was it $26 a share, for example? Okay, let's see, you know what, $25. Maybe it went down after I started my program. So let's see, it's $25 a share. I own stock. I own 5,000 shares. Let's see. Obviously, I want to sell somebody calls. By the way, the calls that I'm selling are covered calls. What means covered calls? They are covered by the stock that I own. So I'm not scared that the stock will go through the roof. All of a sudden, Barrick Gold will become $50 a share or $5,000 a share. I don't care because I have the underlying security to deliver. So I'm not going to take financial ruin because the stock went so much higher in price and I have to deliver and I don't have the stock to deliver and now I have to sell my house and declare bankruptcy and go through all the horrific situation. No, I'm not going to do that. So I have underlying security. My call is then covered. Okay, now what kind of calls to sell? So obviously, if I will sell out of the money calls, out of the money means that these calls, the strike price means the price that allows buyer of that security to exercise it. Say $30 a share. And the expiration is in next 3 weeks. I don't think that anybody will pay any serious money, maybe 5 cents, maybe even less for that. But I'm there to make money. Also, sometimes I feel very greedy. It's not a nice thing, but sometimes I really do. I really do. That's one of my shortcomings. So I want to sell then, maybe not in next 2-3 weeks expiration, but maybe in 2-3 months expiration. Now, the more time I'm selling, more money people will pay me, which is good. So let's see, I'm selling, I can sell even 1 year expiration. I will get way much more money. And what if I will sell not $30 call, but only $27.50 call? Oh, now we are talking about some serious money coming up my way. I love it. Actually, once I'll finish the program, I will do exactly that. But there is something else I can do. It's still out of the money because the stock is only $25 and I'm selling somebody right to purchase it at $27.50. What if I will sell somebody's call at the money, which is $25? Now, obviously, I will get way much more money for this option, for the calls that I'm selling. The only problem is that I'm selling essentially all upside on my stock. I'm collecting more premium as a compensation for that. But if I believe that stock, that the gold will go to 2,000 an ounce and higher, I would love to hold on to my Barrick Gold shares. So now I'm really have to make a hard decision which option to sell, which call to sell, at the money or out of the money. However, there is still another scenario. What if gold is going down in price, which happens sometimes, more often than you think? So maybe to lock my profits, let's say I acquired Barrick Gold a while ago, my price is $20, so I don't care as long as it's higher than $20, I'm fine. So if I believe that the gold might go lower in price, so I would be wise to sell not out of the money, not at the money, but in the money, which means a price lower than today's price, $25 a share. So I'm selling 22 and a half. And if I'm selling it with, say, 12 months expiration, it's incredible. I will get tons of money for this gold that I'm selling. So I'm of course, basically I should resign to the fact that I will have to deliver, most likely I will have to deliver stock at $22.50, which costs today $25 and has way more upside to go. Why would I do that? To protect downside if the stock indeed will go lower. You know what? I really don't like the deal. I'm not going to do that. No. Okay, so in this situation, what I would recommend is, first of all, get down the concept of calls. We will talk about puts next time. I've indicated what they are, but puts are just as an incredible vehicle to make money, just as calls, but from different perspective. So the calls are, if you sell them, you get obligation. You have no rights, actually. And actually, a few times, what happened to me, I like dividends paying stocks. Again, only because I'm greedy. There is no other reason. I like dividends paying stocks because there are three profit generators. One is the stock itself. It can go much higher than where you bought it. Nice. Number two, it's paying you dividends. And today, there are several really good stocks paying 7% dividends. It's an incredible deal, 7% dividend. Okay, and finally, there is another profit opportunity for you is to sell calls against your position. What happened to me a few months ago, I had the stock of Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. It's paying nice dividends. It's a very stable company. I was collecting dividends. The stock was going higher in price. And I sold covered calls. You know what's happened? That someone who bought the calls exercised them, which means that I had to deliver the shares. I didn't really have to do anything. They were simply taken away from me. So I was exercised. And it's happened 2 days before dividend payments. Yes, I made money at the end of the day because I sold the calls and the stock went higher in price, and I've collected some dividends. But that one dividend that I really counted almost like in my bank account, and I was thinking about how to use this money, that was taken away from me. That's another unfortunate thing. They're calling about being exercised. So somebody who bought the right, let's see, CM is a symbol for Canadian Bank of Commerce. CM was trading at $85 a share or something, and I sold $80 calls, so I got the premium, and stock went. I bought stock at $70 a share. It went up to 85, but it was taken away from me 2 days before the dividend payment. That's that's a dark side of selling calls, especially on dividend-paying stock. But no regrets. No regrets. What's happened? It happened. Somebody got even greedier than me. So somebody wanted to collect this dividend and exercise his right. So he collected dividends, not me. Not very happy about that. Still not happy. But that's a good lesson for you. Don't count your eggs, because something may happen. Something can be exercised. That's a lesson about that. That happened to me first time. I actually, after that, it happened to me the same thing with the Bank of Nova Scotia. Same thing. It was taken away from me 3 days before the dividend payment. Okay, so I know the game. But that's fine. That's fine. You're just still making money. You're still happy. And that's the only thing what you should know. So about calls, use strategy of covered calls. It's a very sound strategy. If it generates, probably not in every market, of course. If market will go down 50%, I don't think that you will be very happy about that. But hopefully it's not happening very often. 50% downside. We're talking about historical event, which happened last March. It happened in 2009. Happened in 2000 when dot-com bubble burst. A few more times. So it's happening, let's see, once a generation, probably once every 10 years, you may say. Okay, so unfortunately, that's something what you have to bear in mind. So you have to always defend your positions. You have to always be mindful that there are certain forces. The president can say that there is no more deal with China, as I said before. Market can tank on that news, and then he will say that there is no more deal with Australia and New Zealand and Russia and France and Canada and so on. So market will go down another 350 points. Okay, that's a fact of life. That's an environment where we are now. Let's learn how to live with that. And of course, there is an election coming up in 4 months, so situation may change. Either way, in 4 months, market can go down, same 50%. It could go also up 50%. So I wish you will have some questions. Please send it to IBMTV investment program. I would be more than happy to answer them. Good luck with your investments. Don't rush to invest yet. We have to still discuss a lot of things about puts, then more about options. Then I'll show you some examples, how to trade these options and how to secure your positions. In the meantime, I wish you all the best. Goodbye, and see you next week. Thank you.